What is going on, Benzinga Nation, and welcome to Live Trading. I'm your guest host, I guess, Zunaid, and you've got my man 13. You've seen him plenty of time. I like that sweater, by the way. It looks good on you.
Oh, thank you. This is just a shirt.
Or shirt, that's fine. That's cool, too. Hopefully my trading day isn't as bad as my opening, but that's quite all right. What's up, man? How you feeling coming into the markets? We'll look at some charts. We'll look at some things, but how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I like the open. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Nice shirt. Let's go. I got it.
Well, not just that. It's like nice sweater. Oh, it's a shirt, bro. It's like, all right, you know what? Maybe I should just get back to packing because in a few hours, your boy, the reason we got this $50 haircut is because we've got a event in Miami to go to, the Robinhood. Looks like they're going to be talking about some new products and different things like that, new announcements. They've been teasing it on social media. They've been emailing everybody as well. So a lot of fun things happening in Miami. We'll be there to cover it, myself and AT. But let's go ahead and take a look at some. Oh, whoa. I can't do this without this. You ready?
Let's go.
Welcome to Live Trading from Benzinga. Benzinga Live Trading? Something like that.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Benzinga's Live Trading. I don't know. Either way, what's up? Let's go ahead and take a look at some markets. I'll just kind of give a quick brief overview, and then you can go ahead and see you can go over what you're seeing, and I'll go ahead and pull up the charts and kind of rock and roll that way. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Qs. First, I'm going to go to the daily just so we can kind of keep an eye of where we are at. Got a nice little uptrend happening. Obviously, again, we talk about it often, at least I like to. August 5th, everybody thought it was Armageddon. Everybody thought it was the end of the world. Nope, not really. Great dip buying opportunity in hindsight. And we've got a nice little rally since then. What is that? August 5th till now, we're looking at approximately at least 17. Yeah, well, I'm looking at it. So, yeah, 17% or so to the upside. That's what you've got on the Qs. In terms of levels that I'm kind of keeping an eye on the Qs, let's go to the 4-hour chart and see if there's anything in particular that I personally like. And the answer is kind of no. Maybe this 490 area. If that breaks comfortably, then I could, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and mark this 490 area for myself. Where is it? There we go. You can see that you had resistance, popped up, held a support. So I'm going to go ahead and put my famous fire alarm right there on the Qs to see if anything happens on that side of things. Let's go ahead and get rid of all these crayon drawings on the SPY. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I could go ahead and draw the level right over here around 577.72 on the SPY. Keep an eye on that in case it wants to go down and test support. What are you laughing at now?
I'm laughing at your mark there, 577.72. We had a previous all-time high of 577.71.
Oof.
So that's a level I have marked off too.
See, there you go. Well, tell me what else you've got marked off so I can laugh at your levels. Come on.
All right. Well, hey, 580.33 was also another previous all-time high. We dropped beneath that in the intraday session yesterday, and we are trying to recapture that in the morning now. We are really close to that level. So once we open, we'll find out if we can break above that and hold, or if we're going to get rejected and go further down to your 577.72 level.
All right. By the way, I forgot to do the mannerisms part of the show. Good morning to Biscuit. Good morning to AC2000. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Carmen. Good morning, Let's Talk. Man, can you imagine getting a text from Let's Talk and they're saved as Let's Talks? I would just think someone's breaking up with me no matter if I was in a relationship or not. That'd be a little scary. Good morning, Jay Harris, Wiz, Gabe, Harris again, Jane, Jay, Gabe, Glenn, and Market Sniper. All right, what else you got?
Well, we usually go over some of the movers that are going off this morning, and I've got 4 that are over 100%.
Talk to me.
First, we can start with STEC. This one, we received news yesterday that the chair and CEO were detained in China. Now, for some reason, this is now moving up. It moved up over 1,000% on that news. It came back in since then, but we're still up in an elevated position. Yeah, exactly right. Why would the stock move?
Why would the stock move when they were detained?
Right. So don't have a whole lot of new information on why we're going up on here. There might be something that has to do with fraud and pertaining to these two, and maybe the funds are recoverable if that's the case. I'm wondering if that could be the situation here, but that's speculation. I don't know exactly why it's going up on that kind of news, but let's move forward. They have a 4.32 million share float. So this is something that we're going to be looking to trade if we get the setups. The short interest was, it's 6% of the float shorted with 5.7 days to cover. So the days to cover is really up our alley, but that's a very small amount of the float being shorted. So not sure if we're going to get really a whole lot of squeezing action here, but definitely just going to take a look and see what we get out of the open with this one, because this is some really wild news.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. You have let's see, someone said they have theories. Where to go? Anthony says I have theories. Well, you can shoot them. You can shoot them. Here in the text, here in the chat. We'll let you. If it's appropriate, we'll talk about it. We'll talk out loud. But what else? What else you got?
So the next one, VS. This is Versus Systems. They are moving up because they received they did a 2.5 million licensing and investment agreement with ASPIS. I don't want to say that name because I might get banned, but it's the abbreviation is ASPIS, and they have a 1.55 million share float. This is going to be one of the things that we've been talking about lately about companies regaining NASDAQ compliance. This is one such company, and so will the other two. This has been a theme that we've been trading on lately. These companies that are really low floats, junky names, regaining compliance, the stock rallies. So this is that's the next one there. This company does need cash, but just be careful. They may make an offering at some point soon. But without further ado, let me just get to ATNF, because this thing has been the pre-market rocket, and it's still going right now. This thing is just absolutely insane. Here's the even more insane part. The insane news doesn't end here. This is a biotech company, and they're moving because they acquired a gaming platform, an online gaming platform, and they now plan to enter the online gaming space. They also regained NASDAQ compliance last week, but I think this is kind of mind-bogglingly strange that a biotech company picked up an online gaming platform, and now plans to enter that. So that's ATNF. They have 1 million shares in the float that's being traded, probably more than that at this point. We've seen in terms of volume today, but they did do a 1-for-19 reverse split earlier this year in February. I don't really think that's making a big difference here. The compliance and the plans to go online with gaming, that's the big mover for this today, and it is just absolutely rocketing. We have to be careful with this one at the open because we could get a pull, but we're going to definitely see if we get some support at some level, because we could trade this today.
I wonder if I've actually interviewed the CEO or executive, because the ticker sounds familiar. Maybe I just traded it without that. I'm not quite sure. But the level to keep an eye on for me in terms of resistance is approximately 1778. You can see that we had support there back in May 15th of 2023 area, resistance, and it came back down. So we'll be interested to see if we do go ahead and face some resistance. And of course, I love my whole numbers. So if it gets around the $10 area, I think that could be an interesting play on this one here. What else you got?
I've got one more that's of the 100% or greater movers. That's BDRX. This company we've seen before. We've traded this recently, but this one actually is also another NASDAQ compliance theme. They regained NASDAQ. They appealed their NASDAQ delisting, and they were granted an extension. So they won their appeal. They were granted an extension, and now they're moving up on that. So this is just yet another one of these stocks in that same theme of regaining compliance, and it's taking off. It has 14.5 million shares in the float, so this is a little bit thicker than what we're looking for. We want these micro float names. 14.5 isn't going to be so heavy that we're just going to see it leak all day. We might get some pops throughout the day, but this is going to be one of the heavier ones. So once it starts to sell off, maybe it would be time to just wait for that thing to settle out before we start trading it again, if we do get an opportunity.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk about the one ticker that is on everybody's mind.
Nvidia or drug?
Drug.
Nope. Say no to drugs, folks.
For many reasons. On FinTwit, it's been a minute since I've gone on FinTwit for trading. My FinTwit now is politics, random trading stuff, maybe 10%, 15%, and then sports betting. That's what my timeline is kind of consistent of. But a lot of people talked about drug. Ironically, most of them, and I like to see this, not because I like people losing money, but I like them being transparent of saying, hey, yeah, look, I lost money in the markets. I lost six figures. I lost 10,000, 12,000, whatever it is. And, at the moment, here are the levels that I've got my eye on. And they're more than this, obviously, but this is just what I'm personally focusing on if I were to trade this. $35 in terms of resistance. You can see in the after hours yesterday, you had it pop up, held as support, came back down, pre-market held as resistance. So that'll be a level for me to kind of keep an eye on. Do we get a rejection from the 35 if we go ahead in the open markets, or does it pop above and try to make its way once again? Obviously, you do have the after hours high of approximately $60. So that's what that's looking like there. And we'll see how that goes. But those are a few different levels I've got. Of course, 1091 as well. What a nice little basing that had yesterday. Popped up. I was hoping it could get a retest of $10, not because I was trading, but just because I would love to see that come through. But 1091 is where it kind of based. Got a nice little pop up, but definitely something to keep in mind. And of course, you do have support here at the 24 area. 2426 area in the pre-market as well. So plenty of levels to kind of keep an eye on. We'll see which way it goes. But of course, be careful. Don't get too crazy. There will always, always, always be another trading opportunity. We don't want anyone going bankrupt over this. Someone in the chat, by the way, any thoughts on drug before I move on?
No, we had a great time with it yesterday. This is not something we want to really be looking at the today. If it does provide some opportunities, we'll take a look at it then. But the big move is over. We have some other things we can take a look at and trade.
All right, cool. Yeah, someone mentioned if drug goes to 24, it could have good support. Yep, something to keep an eye on as we've drawn out there. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Nvidia. Let's go ahead and kind of move our drawings. Ooh, it looks like it almost made all-time highs again just a couple of days ago, but it has seen rejection since then. Remember I was talking to someone in the chat the last time I was on the show, and I mentioned that, hey, if a stock is testing the previous all-time high, I like it short for a couple of bucks. And they said, hey, don't short at all-time highs. And I said, I agree. If it blasts through all-time highs, I don't want to short that puppy and try to guess where it's going to, come down, if at all. But I just, when you have chances like this, personally for me, I like taking them just for a couple of points, couple of bucks, see if we can get it. Let's go ahead and take a look at Nike here in a moment. Well, let me first see if there are any levels that I like within Nvidia itself. 128 would kind of be the only one for me. Right about there, you can see you had resistance, turn into support. Almost tested it yesterday as well by about a point or so. So 128 is an area to keep in mind. Of course, you have 141 blast off to the upside if it does go through there. Let's see what else we've got here. Nike.
Man, ATNF is just not stopping. It's over 18 now.
Ooh, okay. It's at that 1778 level. Obviously, it did break through a little bit. Let's see if it's going to go ahead and hold or not. What do you think? You think it pops through, or you think it comes back down?
Oh, I'm not going to speculate. I'm just going to wait for it to give us a setup, and then I'll be able to trade it. For right now, it's not chasing.
All right, cool. I'm just going to put every single dollar I've got on it. No worries. All right. Yeah, in terms of Nvidia, we talked about the levels here. So that's what I'm kind of keeping an eye on if it does want to test those levels. But for now, I'm going to stay away from that one. And then, of course, the one ticker, Robinhood. Someone mentioned that they're in Palm Springs and then what's happening in Miami. So Robinhood has an event in Miami. It's today, tomorrow, and Friday. The keynote speaker, Vlad, tentative at 6:30. Will be, giving some announcement or something like that based on what they've been teasing and things like that. So we'll see what that's all about. And then, a bunch of panels and different things like that. So we'll be down there to cover it, to create some content, see what's going on from there. Man, is anyone in Robinhood still? I am not anymore. I was, but I unfortunately sold out for a little bit of profit, a little bit of gain, but I am no longer in Robinhood, but would love to find a way to play this, especially if the announcement is good. Because look, everyone kind of knows that, hey, something is coming up, right? They have been teasing it on social media. They have been talking about it. And now it's just a matter of what exactly is it? What are they going to do? Is it going to bring in more money, more users? Because that's the name of the game, onto their platform. Hood Week is what they're marketing as well. So it'll be interesting. There is no try, says heavy on Hood. I'd love to know your entry. Would love to know your entry. Let me know. Let me know what you've got. But any thoughts on Hood before I move on to another ticker?
I just don't like the platform. I know that they're doing some great things with their company, but it's not for me.
All right, fair enough. Let's go ahead and take a look. Is there any other ticker you want to take a look at in terms of blue chips before I keep going?
Well, not in terms of blue chips. There is
just anything, yeah.
a bunch of mentions for different Bitcoin names: CLSK, MSTR, Mara. I noticed that Bitcoin was having a pretty good morning. We're over 67,000, approaching 68,000. So that's going to help lift all the names associated with Bitcoin. So you're going to see coin go up. A lot of the crypto mining names could be a good morning for them. Still all depends on how Bitcoin moves.
Yeah, Bitcoin having a great move. Let's actually take a look at Coinbase. If it's over 200, ooh, it is. It is. For a swing trade, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like Coinbase for a swing trade into the election. See if we can get back to what is this? Yeah, I guess we probably could. That's not too hard of a try. I was gonna say the 410 level ish. Let me actually move this target up just a little bit. I might actually see if I could swing some coin. What do you guys think, chat? Coinbase above 200. So let's see if I did get into this trade, right? And again, I'm not saying I will, but if I did get into this trade, I think my stop loss would be a risk of $5. Like if it drops below 195, I'd be out. If it gets to, about 207s or so, I would go ahead and start taking gains. But if into the election cycle, I think this can have a nice little momentum to the upside. We've seen that so far. Not just that, but if Trump does win, I would think that crypto would have a nice move continuation to the upside itself as well. So just something to keep an eye on.
He has sort of become the crypto candidate with
for sure
with Elon, and yeah, so it's going to be tied to how successful he is. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that.
Which at the moment, I mean, if you look at Poly market and the sport and the betting markets, if you will, he's widened the gap quite a bit ever since she joined the race and she had her come up. It's been a bit more of a lead, if you will, in those terms of polls. But let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of different tickers. Carmen mentioned Duo.
And then also Serve after that, if we could. Duo, the Fang D network. This is this looks like it's trying.
It looks like I've got maintenance in the back, so I'm gonna put you up just by yourself for a sec.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, this one looks like it's trying to get back into the 150 area. That looks like a breakout level. I mean, I can see that we popped up in what was this at the very open this morning at the 4 a.m. when as high as looks like 175. That would be another level to watch for. But to me, it looks like 150s first, and then we can talk 175 and take that up to maybe $2. What are you thinking there with that, Carmen? That's kind of how I'm looking at with the way this formation is playing out. We just need to start moving up away from these moving averages. And then as far as SERB goes, sorry, we don't have that on the screen at the moment. This one also looks like it might be flagging and is trying to push up into the open. 9 minutes till that moment, by the way. So this one is trying to get up to 950 and break out of there. That seems like it's had 3 visits or 3 attempts to get above that level. 825, 840, and 845. Both all tried to get above that 950 level. This next visit up here could be the one that takes it out. And that's SDRB.
I have, how much time we have? 8 minutes till the market opens. I have a maintenance crew. I guess they're doing some plumbing work in the whole building or whatever. So everyone that lives in a certain unit number has to have their water turn off. And I remembered that, but I didn't remember it when I did laundry this morning before I go to Miami. And so as soon as he walks in, he's like, hey, we got to make sure your water's off. And I look at my laundry machine and I'm like, does a washing machine count? He's like, does it use water? And I'm like, yes. He's like, so it counts, right? And I'm like, all right, you right. So how do we do this? So yeah, now I've got 15. Thankfully, the laundry is almost done. I can put it in the dryer. But anyway, first world problems, can't complain. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of different. Let me take a look at the NQ here. Boy, we were just could not get over this level, huh? On this 2400 or 20,400 level or so. That's been a little bit tough. And then we're going to go ahead and draw a couple of. All right, cool. So those are going to be my levels. I'm going to go ahead and place an alert there. Place an alert there. Nvidia short stage.
Short stage. I think he's referring to the particular moment that it's in.
Mhm.
Also, getting mentions of UAL by Robert. This had earnings yesterday, popped up to 60, just under 66 on the earnings print, came back in. Now we're actually about to test 66 again. Watch for this. Watch for that level at the open here. See if we can break over that. Also, another one that we had earnings yesterday that I thought was very interesting was JB Hunt. This one on 9th of October received a price target of 189 from Goldman Sachs. On their earnings, it shot right up to 189, and it's kind of been hanging out in that area ever since. I don't know if it's going to hold up here. My thought is that we might get a pop, but then it could start to be a bit of a profit-taking event after that. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen, but I thought it was very interesting that it just shot right up to the price target upon the earnings print.
Carmen said, "Hey guys, help! What's the thing on the laptop call that one uses to move the pointer around with their finger? Mine stopped working."
The trackpad?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Good
the
call.
trackpad, the little thing beneath the space bar, the little square
The
section.
little square thingy.
Yeah, trackpad.
Trackpad. There you go. That. Smart guy. That's why we keep him around. Now,
Technical analysis.
Yeah, so the trackpad, it looks like it has a double top, which is why now it's in which is why, like Comp said, it's in a short stage.
Yeah, it's not working because it's shorted.
You may want to get some puts on the trackpad. Oh my goodness. All right, yeah, 66. I agree. You had a top there, resistance. We'll see if it ends up catering to the downside or not. Amazon. Let's take a look at Amazon. Yeah, that 200 level, I remember it just could not stay above. I think that's like 201, maybe. Yeah, it looks like 201, 202-ish before it started moving to the downside. This happens, by the way. You may have accidentally shut it off. Yeah, so because sometimes you can press like a random button or a setting or whatever, and then yeah, that's a very good point. So, okay, if trackpad was a ticker, what would the ticker be?
TKPD.
TKPD. I like it. TKPD. But if it's like an OTC, then like TRKPD. You know what I mean? A little 5-letter situation.
5-letter, exactly. Yeah.
Good morning, Amanda. All right, cool. Let's see what else we've got. CrowdStrike, a nice little bounce from the 200 from a while back. This is nothing as of recent. Oh, but we got a gap to fill though. We haven't filled this gap yet. Let's see. Gap on CrowdStrike is approximately 336.63. At the moment, it's at 300. Okay, hold on though. Is this a buying opportunity or not on CrowdStrike? Because let's see, you did have you had that level. To me, I personally love the $300 level. I mean, I love the whole numbers. I made that very clear.
I got that marked off. Yeah.
So yeah, you like the 300?
Yeah, that's my, because that was a breakout level from when it was okay. So at first it tested it as resistance back in September 20th. Then it came back in. We broke out of that on October 10th. Now we're coming back to test it as support. I like it.
I just want to say I like TPAD. Solid. I really do like that one. And also everyone that bought puts on trackpad, you just got squeezed. Because apparently she may have just turned it off by mistake is what happened. So whoever mentioned that, great job. But also RIP to your puts on TPAD. Sorry, guys. Better luck next time. Pan W. Let's take a look at Pan W. Man, I have been so out of the trading game. It has been a minute since I've looked at this many charts.
Oh, this looks interesting. Pan W. It like it wants to break out of this. What we're going to call this, like the 380. 379, 378 level. Somewhere about there. That's like it's trying to get over this. We can even call it this 380. Breakout of 380. That's what we're looking for here with Pan W.
All right, cool. Let's see here. We're about 2 minutes or 3 minutes now since the market will open. We have not talked about Tesla. How dare I not talk about Tesla? It does look like they have a gap to fill. What is this level? Let's call it about 232s.
So for me, I've got levels marked off on Tesla from a while back. 226 would be the next level it's got to get over, but I don't like the 50-day SMA in the way there. I feel like that's going to be an area that could get rejected. I personally like 200. I'm sorry, I like Tesla closer to the 200 SMA or $200 even. That's where I think I'd be interested in Tesla. But for now, it looks like it may just kind of be forming a bit of a bear flag. If it cannot recapture the 50-day SMA, I think it does reject and go lower.
Right. Real quick, give me a ticker you want to keep an eye on, because the maintenance folks are back to make sure I got my laundry done.
Okay, why don't we look at DJT? All right. This one we were looking at yesterday as well. And this one on the daily chart has, it ran up yesterday in the morning to its 200-day SMA, rejected and came back in. Now we're kind of hanging out in the middle of that candle. So we could end up with an inside candle today. Over the next, I don't know how this is going to trade today or the next several days, because this thing has a lot of volatility. So the way an inside candle resolves might not end up being the course it takes because of how volatile this is. But if it does, let's say it does, we'll probably see it, kind of incrementally get higher and higher in price until it breaks out of that high that it made yesterday. That's usually how these inside candles that are bullish would resolve. We're also a bit extended here on the RSI, 69.7, almost 70 RSI. That would also indicate that we are going to need to cool off a bit here. But the chart does look pretty good. We have the 20-day SMA and the 50-day SMA. They're kind of curling up. We're about to get a silver cross. So there are some potential bullish signals here in DJT, but it is pretty extended for the time being. So let's temper expectations with this. This could cool off a little bit, but it does look like it's trying to go higher. Let's do this. Our alpha, we covered. So that's, if you look up inside candle, that's where you have yesterday's candle, and then it's could be of varying sizes. But the candle for today, if we get the close without it breaking the real body outside of the real body from yesterday's, that would end up being an inside candle, and it's a formation that you get with some of these charts. So if we end up with an inside candle where the entire body of the candle is within the bounds of yesterday's candle, that's an inside candle. And if we're looking at a bullish one, it's going to take maybe 2 or 3 days before it breaks out. That's typically how they resolve. And again, with DJT, I don't know how that's going to look because this thing is pretty volatile. Look at the volume we had yesterday. Biggest volume spike we had. Let's see, we traded almost 100 million shares. That's the biggest volume candle we've had since July 15th, when we traded 80 million shares. So, and if you Google that, oh geez, I just got a beep. I don't know if anybody else heard that, but if you look up inside candle, you can see what those patterns look like and how they resolve. Carmen saying 13-year plan on Duo sounded good to me. QNRX popped up on my screen. It had some significant insider buying last month. Now on that list, I'll take a look at QNRX. But yeah, Duo. The plan for that one was, I've been saying so many different things. I'm not sure. We're about to. We already opened. Sorry about all that. We already opened here, folks. Let's get down to it. Let me take a look at some of these things that are moving. It looks like STEC out of the gate is suspended or halted to the downside. Then we also have. Let's see, where those all of the ones from this morning go. Give me 1 second here. Drug is also halted. That opened lower and popped back up. That one's halted into the upside.
Oh, look where it bounced from.
Yeah.
So the 24.26. Let's see how off we were. Approximately 74 cents, which in this case is obviously not that big of a margin. So a good level there. Pre-market lows. Nice little bounce.
ATNF out of the gate dropped, and now it's trying to push back up. Be careful with this one. The MACD is indicating that it's trying to roll over, and the RSI is very extended on this one. I don't know that we're going to push up and break out of this 1837 pre-market high that we got. We're moving up there right now. Maybe I'm just going to eat my words on this one, but just be careful with this one because it is very extended here. What else do we have? Versus that popped and dropped. That's beneath VWAP now. BDRX still looks like it's headed lower. Maybe we get some support from the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. And DJT with a pop and drop. What else are we looking at here? Wolf moving. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. Sorry if I'm moving too fast for you. This is typically
No, you're good.
how it goes.
You're good. Nah, if they like your flow, so keep doing you.
Wolf.
Follow along what you got.
Wolf with a nice open here all the way up to 1454. Don't have levels on this one, but let me see if I can find some for you here. Looks like 1650 could be on deck here. We actually got up to 1650 yesterday, or close to it. Looks like actually 1625. I'm sorry about that. 1625 was the high yesterday. That would be the level I'd be watching for, see if we can push up to there. Otherwise, if we're looking for support, could find it closer to 13. I'd say 1361 first, and then after that, 13.
Take a look at, see if drug is on halt. Oop, spelled drug wrong. I might be on something. Nope, that's still unhalted at the moment. Or excuse me, that's still halted at the moment. All right, let's go take a look at the SPY and a couple of other.
Okay.
Let's see. Nothing really there that's of interest to me. Let's take a look at the Qs. Okay, Qs. All right. They're coming to the level that we drew out on the 489.92. Call it 490s. See if that level holds. For the moment, you do get a little bit of a bounce. Nothing crazy to write home about. We'll see if that ends up holding.
ETNF still trying. VS, yes, that is above VWAP. It still looks like it's having a hard time holding above it, but let's see how this candle closes and we can just determine what happens next. I'm on a 5-minute chart. ATNF still trying to push to that 1837 pre-market high. Did you hear that, Junaid?
Sure did, and that's the Qs headed to the downside.
Okay, so that's what I was hearing. I heard something earlier when you were gone. I was like, what'd I do?
Nope. Those are my famous fire alarms. You know, I had to do it for the chat one time.
Your fire alarms? Do you need to replace the battery?
No, man, that was. Hey, look, there was a fire alarm gate a while back. All right, that was actually a thing. All right, let's go to. So you got the Qs that are looking to. Now the Lex level obviously is just yesterday's low that I would keep an eye on in case it does want to go back and test it. Tesla's short. Let's go and take a look at Tesla and see what opportunities are there.
Christoph, like to hear it, and I love the discipline. Stick with it, man.
Visa. Let's go and take a look at Visa.
Looking to see if drug is unhalted yet. Nope. Looks like we're getting some movement in BS now. Trying to take out the 420 level. There's a bit of a wall there. There we go. Moving higher.
What's the ticker, sorry?
This is VS.
I got you.
They're really trying to... oh, there we go. Now we're pushing. Love to see it. STEC halted. Yeah, they've been halted, unless this is a new halt you were talking about, because they were halted out of the open. Okay, I think you're right. This is their second halt. Let me double check that, because it seems like they were halted to the downside at first, and then now they're halted to the upside. It's not showing me the halts. That's what it looks like, though. It looks like the second halt for STEC. Where was Motion? Are you answering a question about where the Faloona is? I think he is golfing.
He is out golfing. So it'll be myself and 13 today. It'll be Aaron Bree and 13 on Thursday, Friday to close us out.
Jay Rice earlier mentioned that the nuclear stocks were doing well, and that appears to be the case. And it seems like all these Mag 7s and these big AI names, they're really looking for some way to power their data centers and AI. It looks like they're all going nuclear. So
RBLX. Let's take a look at RBLX.
Roblox.
Oh, nothing happened there.
BDRX also halted to the upside. This has been a wild morning. There are a lot of movers. ATNF still having a hard time getting up to that 1837 pre-market high. Now we're going down.
By the way, you do have drug that did unhalt, and it's wow, beautiful. It's holding that 24, 23 level, so plenty of opportunities to scalp there. Now the question is it going to actually hold and maybe test the highs or excuse me, the 35 level, not the highest, because the highest of pre-market, you're looking at about maybe 41, 41. But for now, though, this 24 area is holding that we drew out. Hopefully people were able to take advantage of it with some good risk management. Let us know in the chat if you did go ahead and take a little bit of a scalp on drug at the $24 area.
Oh, thanks for the mention, Jay Rice. Man, this thing, SMG. I brought this up a little while back, and maybe some others did as well, but this one was looking good to me. I like the dividend, like the whole the theme, but I was expecting some pullback from this, but this is saying, nope, we're gone. We are gone, folks. Over $90 now. We were talking about this when it was, I think, maybe just under 70 or in the low 70s. So if you manage to grab this one, well done. This one is just great. Pretty extended up here though, 77 and over 77 RSI on the daily.
Yeah, we'll see what's kind of have a little bit of a pullback for folks who want to get into that one. Coming back to drug. There you go, still holding on.
Nice. Still holding. Like bouncing pretty good there. Replay Game Lab. Shout out to your son. We need a lot more people like him.
Wait, what are you reading? Hold on.
Replay Game Lab. He said my son decided to be a nuclear engineer. My stock portfolio was very happy about it. We need all the nuclear engineers we can get.
That's awesome. Tell that man to retire you.
Missed the VS train? Don't worry. There's plenty of trains leaving the station. There'll be other trains to catch.
Got that 15, 5. Nice little dollar move.
I mean, I watched the ATNF move all, from about 850 to go, it was like under $7 and it went
all the way.
18. Yeah, and I just don't do a lot of pre-market trading, and I just wasn't going to chase it. So
yeah,
sad to see it, leave the station without me. But I'm not gonna try to jump on a moving train.
That is the worst thing that you can do, my friend. Let's see what else we've got cooking.
VS might see 10 today. Nice. We'll take a look at that.
So let's see if it does, right? It's got to get over the 5. So keep an eye on $5. As you can see, again, goes back to the whole numbers. You can see $5 popped up, held at support, cracked, resistance. So honestly, if I were to get into this ticker, I would look to get into it over 5 or as close to 346 as possible, because that's the other area of support. You can see, again, pre-market low. Or excuse me, after it rose up, you had pre-market support that it bounced from. But $5 crack is where I'd be looking to get in if I was interested in VS to the upside.
Yeah, and it's interesting about these upper shadows here that we're getting in the regular session. These are all being rejected here from the consolidation we got in pre-market. So that supply zone was pushing down those previous 2 5-minute candles. Here we are trying to test that again. We get enough volume to push through 450. We definitely can talk about it getting above the 470 level, which I think is the top of that consolidation, and then we'll be in an earlier consolidation channel between 470 and 530. That's what I'll be looking at here. I think once we get past 530, we'll have a lot more. We'll see a lot more momentum.
Let's see what we've got. What else we're cooking up?
Lunar up again today. Hell yes, brother. Got a little bit of Lunar still, waiting for that to go on the contract news. Is Captain Faloona at the Greater Chicago Bird Show? I forgot exactly what he went off to do, but all I know is that he's playing golf. He's in his happy place. Awesome duo. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Let's go ahead and check out duo.
What did it end up doing here? Let me look.
By the way, you have VS, that's about now 25 cents away from $5. So something to keep an eye on here. Let's take a look at duo.
Duo's pushing right now. Got to get through 150. There's a 145 and 150. There's about between those two places, there's about 100,000 shares, and it's chewing through it. So let's see if it can break out at 150. Once we get above that, we have, it looks like 160 could be a resistance spot, and 173. Those are the highs from the pre-market. The first one was from 8:05. The other one was from when we opened pre-market at 4 a.m.
Let's go back to VS because I'm interested to see if it's going to break 5 or not. Are you going to break 5?
Well, it's making its way through that consolidation I mentioned. Now we're in the next channel or above 470. So as long as we can hold that, we have a good shot at breaking through the 530. That's the next spot I've got. And then after 530, I'd say 650 would be the next potential level. That's the pre-market high from today.
All right, let's see. MGTX.
MGTX. Why does that sound like a familiar one?
Looks like you should face some resistance in about 10 cents.
I agree. 595. That was the high from yesterday when we opened.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think we are trying to take out. But at the very least, it should try to test that level.
ILLR. Take a look at this one. Oof. This is a new ticker. Looks like it recently IPO'd. Yep, and there's VS, by the way, crossed. By the way, I don't have any opinion on ILR besides, you have $6 as resistance. So if you're looking to go long, I think it's better if you wait for a breakout of $6. VS, though, popped above 5 and smacked down straight up.
No opinion on Triller.
Look at that. Popped above 5. 536 was a high, and then it got smacked right back down below 5.
So what we're going to want to see here with this one is we want to see it hold 470. Otherwise, we're going to fall back into that consolidation. So we hold 470. There's a good shot that we're going to push up higher into 5 and up to 530. Ford Motors going, says AMR. Look at that. Popped right to 5. Boom.
Oh, VS.
Actually, 529. 529. Not 530 exactly, but there that was. So let's see what happens next. Like I said, got to hold 470 if we want to keep on with this upside here. Hot getting, is there?
What's up?
No, I don't know. It doesn't look like I don't really.
Is 13's audio breaking for anyone else, or is it just me?
Do I sound bad?
Now you're good. I think before you're just kind of soft and breaking, but you're good now.
Okay.
Let's take a look at PRQR. PRQR.
Also, Duo got as high as 157, so just short of that 160. We're coming back in a little bit. VWAP I have at 140, so we could come back in and test that. Let's see if we hold that 140 area. If we do, we hold that for about maybe 10-15 minutes. We could try that 160 to 173 level again. S-Tech open. This is the one with the chairman and CEO both arrested. Now it's halted again, and what looked like it was not doing anything at all. Halt. That's S-Tech. Sorry.
No, you're good. PRQR, just keep an eye on the 326 level. Obviously, the highs of the day, looking to break above that. We'll see if it ends up happening, but that's something to keep in mind right over there. Waiting for Wolf to go and pull back for an entry. What were we saying?
There is VS. VS did the exact thing we were looking for. Came back down. To,
nice.
Almost tested that 470, got some support, broke through the 530. Next spot we want to look for here, if we're going to continue with the upside, is 650 in VS. And we are pushing.
Of course, is the high of pre-markets.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that, baby. Look at that, baby.
Beautiful, isn't it?
I'm curious if it's going to come back and testify before it knocks 650.
Let's see, a 5 test. I mean, maybe, but I think if it's going to come back in, I'd be looking for between 540 and 530 for support.
But it's pushing at the moment. Did anybody take VS? Let us know.
MGTX still pushing higher.
Holding VS. Okay, where was your entry, Truth? VS halted to the upside. 590, baby.
Mm-hmm. You'll love to see it. And that's a pretty good looking candle. So out of the halt, I mean, this is just a guess. So let's not start setting up orders for this. But my guess is that when we unhalt, we punch that 650 level, and then we come back in.
And then smack, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, Jay Rice. I noticed that yesterday that IWM was looking really good. It actually, let me pull up my chart here because I noticed a few things about it. We had broken out of a symmetrical triangle yesterday in IWM, and we tested a 225 level. Now it's interesting because 225 has been the resistance level all year for the IWM, and we started seeing that resistance take shape in July. Resisted a couple times up there, resisted again in September, and now here we are again getting resistance from that 125 level. I think we're going to be breaking out of this soon. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, Anthony, talk about how he's feeling FOMO on BS. Will hold myself back. Absolutely. Look, it's not just about your exits; it's also about your entry. So I don't, you may want to wait till maybe the $5 test again, or if you get a chance to maybe go short at 650 or so. But yeah, definitely, it's okay. Enjoy the ride like a movie. You can watch and still be entertained. It's all right. No worries.
Yeah, folks, same thing with ATNF, and everybody was saying, man, I wish I had missed that train. We said there'd be other ones, and sure enough, BS was another one. There will be more. Do not, get that FOMO. Don't start chasing. That's how you can really hurt yourself.
And here's another ticker that made highs for the day. It's PRQR. It did go ahead and break above that 326 level, now going up to 350s. I'm sure if it gets us some more buyers, it could go ahead and halt as well. Let's go take a look at drug. What's happening in that case? Ooh, drug to the downside. Okay. So we got a bit of a bounce on drug, and now it's to the downside. Now, look, if it does go ahead and close on this 5-minute candle, which it does look like it's going to do, especially on the 15 is how I'd play it. But if it did close below this 24.26, I'd be interested to see if there's a retest after the close of the candle to possibly go ahead and go short. And my stop loss would be a break of 26 to the upside. That's what I'd be keeping an eye on. ATNF. Near VWAP. I like this one. And it's at near $10. Oh man, that would have been beautiful. Missed it, obviously, but good call out.
I think it still needs a little bit more time. It could come in a tiny bit more, but I think we just need to be patient with this one. The MACD is indicating that there could be a little bit more cooling off in this one before it tries to recapture that VWAP or tries to go for VWAP. Yeah,
for me, at around like 1050 or so is where I'd look to get into this one. ATNF stop loss would be like a break of 850 or so. So I'm risking about $1, $2 for me personally on this one.
Great mention on Wolf. I forgot who that was this morning, but that one went all the way up to 1504. Great job if you managed that one all the way up to there to 15. Love to see that. All right, so yeah, ATNF. It's it looks like there still might be a little bit more downside just based on what I'm seeing with the MACD, but let's wait for it. Let's wait for it to find a bottom. That's what I would think with this one. Wow, BDRX, BS, and STEC are all halted, but only one of them to the upside. All right, Carmen just jumped into TPST. Why does that one sound familiar to me?
As soon as I saw T, I didn't know if she meant trackpad or not. And I saw TP, and I was like, she's messing with it at this point.
Okay, that's why this looks familiar. We actually traded this one, looks like either earlier this year, in April. At least, at the very least, I traded this one back in October last year.
You've clearly got support at the 130s pre-market once, twice. Yeah. So something to keep an eye on that one.
They're hammering away, aren't they?
KRRO. Okay. I don't know what's happening with this one, but this is interesting.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Hella gappy, hella halty, hella everything.
Let's see what we got. Well, biotech. All right.
Coro Bio.
And what do they do? Discover, develop, and commercialize new class of genetic medicines based on editing RNA. As soon as the news shows up. Okay, so they're moving because they announced an oral and poster presentation at an annual meeting for Oligonucleotide Therapeutic Society. That happens, no, that's from September 30th, so that's not news. That's just the last thing that's up here. That was taking place on the 6th to 9th, so that's not happening anymore. Don't know why this is going up. Although it does have a price target of 95 from RBC Capital. That's about all I got. Uh-oh, BS crashing? Yep, back down to 5. That goes. Actually, this went right to VWAP.
All right. So now, look, we talked about, hey, being patient, Anthony, finding your spot. this area, not saying, hey, here's another good entry point, but I'm saying in terms of risk reward, I think this is a good entry point. Stop loss for me would be like a crack of, say, 4. So you're risking about $1 now. You were risking about 50 cents or so.
Back over 5.
Yeah, but this is why you want to, be smart about how you trade it.
Yeah, and that 530 would be the spot. It's got to. Okay, well there it is.
Just like that.
All right, Robert saying UAL ripping now. Take a look at that one.
United Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be flying DAL. Hopefully, things go well.
Probably one of the better airlines too.
Hey, I am in the A, so that's our hood. That's our hub.
So big. It looks like one of the bigger things for United Airlines, in addition to their earnings, that they announced a 1.5 billion share buyback. Not really seeing that kind of thing out of airlines these days. Yeah, they had good earnings. Versus VS, there was your opportunity, just like Junaid said, and now we are at halt. We are going to halt into this.
Oh, baby.
And there, we didn't halt.
No, didn't halt. Didn't halt. Still going. 625,
Yep.
630, 630, 621, 623, 619.
Looking for 650.
Yes, we are. Come on, let's get to 645 and halt. Let's get to 645 and halt. Come on. Come on. Hibbity hop. Skibbity cop. Something. More rhymes. This is why I'm like the substitute teacher. I just say random stuff.
It's okay. Can we leave class early?
Can we? Cute. Matter of fact, we are going to end the stream. Not going to end the stream, but we're going to have John from RJO Futures talk about what's happening in the world at about 10:45. So in less than an hour. But there we go. Okay, there's 40s. There's 40s. Go. There's 45. Do we see a halt? 50. Right at 50 and above. Oh, I need to move my charts.
Wow. Yeah. For me, I think I'd be done here with that blast off over 650.
But look, what a
truth.
Anthony, I'm calling Anthony out just because he mentioned he was fighting FOMO, but again, still going 690, still no halt yet.
Yeah.
Do we break 7?
Maybe. Let's. You know what? Now that we're past all the levels I had, let's see what's next. Let's see here. Yeah, there's consolidation between 650 and 750, so we're kind of in the middle of that. But if we break through that, then I think 8 even. That's the next spot I'd have for this one. It'd be 8 even.
Good patience, though. I mean, this is, I'm glad that you're still out in a way, not because I don't want you to make money, but because if you would have gotten in and you would have made money, I'd be afraid that not just for you, but for anyone else that's trading, you're like, oh yeah, I can always get in and, get lucky if I just chase it a little bit. That's not usually the case. So 7-11, nobody make jokes. It's just where the ticker's at.
AT&F, that one looks like it's trying to find the bottom. At the very least, I think there could be a retest of VWAP, but still need some time with AT&F, just kind of keeping an eye on that one. But VS, yes, that is now halted. 7-11, like you said. Great job if anybody was trading that. Let's just temper expectations here.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done if you went ahead and got into VS.
Yeah.
Let's see where else it could go to, though. 10 is automatically where I'm thinking. But you also have, 8 actually.
8's next. That's where I think is next.
8 for sure.
I haven't used Bollinger Bands in a long time, Edward. For RSI, whenever it gets, close to 70 or over 70, that's when we're looking at, it being too hot and overbought. We get into the 80s, we're primed. We're ready for it to retreat. Typically, that's just how I've seen it. Now, some of these Max 7s have kind of been able to hang out there longer, but not always the case when it comes to these junkier names that we're trading today. So with RSI here on VS being what is this, 79.2?
Yeah,
that's on my 5-minute chart. For me, I mean, like I already had said earlier that I'd be done with that break over 650. This could continue to go, but I think at that point you're just being greedy and you're setting yourself up for you're risking too much at that point. I think it'd be better just to sell into the strength here.
You had Apple, by the way, which made did it make all-time highs yesterday? I feel like it did. Yeah, it did make all-time highs yesterday, and then it said boop down again. Okay, look, here's another example. We talked about Nvidia. Here's another example of Apple. All-time highs, back down. Just a couple of points. Nothing crazy. Just a couple of points.
Wolf's still going, 1530. Great mention earlier. Duo came back in, traded underneath VWAP, currently underneath VWAP, trying to recapture. If it can, that would that'd be good, and I'd be watching for it to try and take out 160 again. Give it another shot.
58. Let's see. Take a look at something here. Oh,
S-Tech is barely open. It opens, goes up, trades a little bit, and then halts again.
S-Tech.
Yeah, it did it again.
Yeah.
Line Atlas asking if anybody is shorting drug. You know, I would say this: if anybody is shorting drug, they may have been pretty lucky to get shorts at all. I think that was my understanding yesterday is that was very hard to find short shares to borrow. You know.
Let's see. Yeah, it's trying to hold that. By the way, if you guys haven't already, I'm going to quickly just kind of plug in our trading competition. I promise we'll be back to the charts here in like 60 seconds, but we do have the World Championship of Trading where we're giving away up to $30,000 to one individual person. We're going to go ahead and confirm these first, second, and third winners from the contest number 1 so we can go ahead and get their money to them. We just have to make sure that they live in the United States or Canada, that they followed all the rules, nothing shady happened. So once we do that, we'll go ahead and start the process of giving the money. And then you do have contest number 2 that has already started as well. So if you guys want a chance to go ahead and win $10,000 for contest number 2, the link is in the chat. It is absolutely 100% free. You don't have to pay a single penny. All you need is your name, phone number, and email address to sign up for the competition, and we will get you started. We'll get you taken care of. And then contest number 3, which you automatically get enrolled in, is for $15,000. And of course, first place in contest number 2 also does get a tour of the New York Stock Exchange and lunch on us at the NYSE. So all these tickers, and look, TradeZero, the platform, is known for being one of the best when it comes to short selling. So if you want to get a chance to check out the platform, this is one way to do it. How many people are in the competition? I don't know the exact number, but I know it's over like 1,000. It might even be over 1,500, 2,000. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, by the way, look, coming back to drug, I said, look, if the 15-minute candle closes below 24, I'd be interested in going short. So for me, this is a good idea to go short around this 23. Stop loss for me. Here, I'm going to draw this out. So like this right here would be a short for me. Stop loss would be right over here, 26.17, which means if I wanted a one-to-one trade, my first targets would be approximately 23.94. So we'll see. Well, let's set some alerts here just to see which way it goes.
VS open.
VS.
And
popped.
Jesus. It pulled and then popped. Right through 8. Going to 850 through that
10.
now.
It's got to go to 10 now. I mean, it may have a little pullback and test and all that stuff, but let's find some strength and let's go to 10, baby. Is anyone still in VS? And if so, more importantly, where did you get in as we make new highs? Now at 913. Do we see a crack of 920s? Did it get halted again?
It's in the process of doing it. It might halt here. And nope.
Nope. Oh, barely. Almost. It looked like it. Up. There's 950s. Boy, what a wild ride.
Yeah.
And it's still not over.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Ganga Deep still holding. And then boom.
Let's see where VWAP is.
I have VWAP
all the way down.
535. You might have a little bit different one.
Yeah, it just depends on different.
S-Tech open. ATNF also nosediving. So we're getting a pull on all these real junky. Actually, it's halted to the downside now.
Yeah.
Aztec doing the same thing that it's been doing out of every halt, popping up and going higher. This one may be halting to the downside.
Coinbase, come on, Coinbase. I'm telling y'all. If Bitcoin continues to rise into the election, Coinbase is where I would want to be. It's one of the ways that I would play it.
Hell yes. Look at our alpha. He was in at 518. Got all that.
518, 518, 518. Nice. Did you sell it? He said I won. I love it.
Yeah, you did. Line Atlas mentioning Lithium Americas. You know, I saw that on the scanner this morning, but it was like mixed up with all these other 10%, 20% runners that I was like, well, let's look at this. Let's deal with the 100% runners.
Ooh, SMR to the upside.
Okay, so Lithium Americas, big news with General Motors developing Thacker Pass in Humboldt County, Nevada. So I guess they General Motors is trying to secure a steady lithium supply. Is that my understanding? Is that correct? Yeah, that seems to be what the situation is. WETH spike. Yeah, take us back over too, baby. AC 2000 mentioning SMR. Here we go with BS coming back up. Okay, here we go. SMR popping. So that's because Amazon dropped 500 million in funding in a funding round for SMR. It looks like, or maybe not directly SMR. I can't tell from this print if this is what they're saying. If it's SMR exactly, or a different company that also specializes in small modular reactors.
Give me 1 second. I'm just reading something here.
Take a look at Amazon news. Let's see what's doing here. Kindle lineup, don't really care about that. Yeah, okay, so Amazon is, you're right, Zoltan. Amazon, fourth Mag 7 now. Fourth Mag 7 to sign some kind of nuclear deal with the company. We've had Microsoft, we've had Google, we've got Amazon. Gosh, what was the other one? I think it was Tesla, but I'm not sure. Microsoft, Google, Amazon. What was the third one? I don't know. Point is that they're all going nuclear. Oh, Line Atlas, great news. Thank you for that. LAC will get about 350 million from GM to start building the processing plant. Batteries, folks.
Batteries.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what else we've got cooking. VS, by the way, still trying to figure out its footing with the pop-up. Didn't quite get to 10. Missed 10 by about 40 cents or so.
That's okay. There's plenty of time left in the day for this to do other great things. It just may need to cool off a little bit. A lot of
I wonder if 650 is going to kind of be the base, and maybe you get VWAP around there as well. In the meantime, you base, and then you get like an afternoon run or something. Who knows?
Yeah, something like that. There's a lot of these names that we trade in the morning that are junky names. They come back and have try to at least to get back to their VWAP later on in the afternoon. Gosh, Lunar doing good. A lot of these small cap names doing pretty good, folks. You were reading China news happening overnight tonight. What specifically? There's several things are happening out of China. I don't know specifically what you're referring to was. Hurricane made access to the lithium. Okay, I got you. It's my sniper.
Drug, by the way. Oop. All right. So, did anyone take the trade in drug that we drew out? Because you would have captured your 1R, and then your 2R.
I think people were just having a hard time borrowing shares. Depends on the platform you had.
Very fair. Very, very fair point. But I want to at least show the concept of support turning into resistance, resistance turning into support, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right, so how about this line, Atlas? FMC, that was great. As soon as it touched 60 earlier last week, that was the signal to get back in it. Now here we are at 63.40. Hot diggity dog.
Nice line, Atlas. That's good. Good to hear.
Yeah, he was fortunate to get some of these shares to short. Nvidia said it will consider nuclear power. They're going to go nuclear. I think at this point you'd have to, with the power demand that some of these data centers with using these AI chips require. It just seems like inevitable. That's kind of one of the reasons why I was so big into utilities earlier this year. All right, so what do we have happening here with Duo? Looks like that is still not able to get back above its VWAP, and it looks like this may end up going a little bit lower. I don't know if this is the end of it for today. Couldn't get back up to that 160 level, but the longer it hangs out beneath VWAP, the more I think it's going to start to roll over, especially with the MACD about to cross. Is there a nuclear energy ETF? I believe there is. I know Jay Rice. I think you might be able to help me out with that, but I don't know of a nuclear ETF off the top of my head. But see if I can find one for you. Because I know that there might be a bunch out there that are good, and there might be a bunch out there that aren't so good. I guess there's the Van Eck uranium nuclear ETF. That's NLR. That one's having a great day. Not hard to see why.
Where in the world is...
There we go.
What's up?
Oh, we're just getting some really good tickers from the chat on nuclear ETFs. We've got URA, NUKE, NLR, which I mentioned. Thanks, Anthony. NUKZ. There you go, scapegoat. Go forth and be profitable. All right. What else do we have moving here? Yes, you are right. Wolf was great. Was strong. Chicago Realtor. And it's still going. All right. Lunar still going as well. Let's look at some of these. All the names that we were looking at this morning, those four, only one of them is really open right now, and that's ATNF. And it is kind of trending lower, but still trying to find a bottom. Maybe that happens closer to 650, but we'll see. First is still halted.
You had VS, by the way, that kind of halted to the downside. I don't know if we covered that, but we'll see how it unhalts.
Yeah, we still have VWAP down at around 580, so there's a potential support right there. VDRX also halted to the upside. It's got some EMAs to move through, and VWAP is about 1112. So if we are going to get some upside, that would be where I think it would run into some resistance. Where do you see the next resistance on the lunar daily chart? Let me find out. I'll tell you.
LUNR? Let's see.
Mm-hmm. I would say 9. Just right off the bat, looks like 9 to me. And that's if you look at the price action from last month, like just pretty much the middle of last month to the end, we popped above it briefly, but every time that we tried to get back up there since it popped and dropped, couldn't recapture 9. We're headed back up to that level again. I think 9 is in play. I think that's where the resistance is.
Let's see, where is... No, you're good. I'm just looking at some other things.
Resistance on Oklo. Let's see. Let us see. I mean, I'd have to go to a smaller time frame. The daily chart isn't really giving me too much in terms of levels. I think 16, but here's the issue. On the daily chart, the RSI is over 77. So we're a bit extended here. I think that Oklo would have to at least give us a day or two of cooling off before it moves higher. You can see like in the previous price action for Oklo, we do have these like earlier this month, we popped up over 11 and then we started cooling off and then we popped again, and that's where we're at now. So I would say 16 maybe, but it does look like this is going to have to turn around at some point soon and bring that RSI down, if that makes sense.
You do have VS that, by the way, did unhalt, went to 6, looking to pop back up $1 now.
Yeah, just barely touched that VWAP. Going to want to see it hold over 650. That was our pre-market high.
Let's see if there's.
Looks like
Nice. Way to go. What are some tickers you took? I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a lot of the ones.
I know VS for sure. Yeah, I know VS for. I know that was good for you.
All right, so BDRX, that actually unhalted and halted again, this time to the downside. ATNF, that is open. It looks like it may have found some support around 822. Let's see if it can get back up to VWAP. I currently have that at 1323. Let's explode VS. Is that illegal? No, we're not a pumper.
No.
Let's not do that.
The only pump we do is in the gym. All you perps, get out the chat. All right, let's see what else. I almost looked up Twitter. You've got Robinhood. I'm really curious what's going to happen. What's funny is there are going to be people that'll trade Robinhood. Obviously, they have their keynote speaker later tonight, but there'll be people who will trade Robinhood on Robinhood's platform throughout the 24/7, trading platform that they have, or 24/5, whatever it might be. So that'll be something interesting to keep an eye on.
Replay Game Lab. Glad you got your money doubled. I can't take credit for Oklo. I think other folks have been mentioning that a lot more than I have, particularly Jay Rice. So shout out to those folks mentioning it before me. But I'm glad you made money, dude. Cadefather got into Google at 165.80. To me, it does look like it's going to be turning around. So that might be I might end up being a really good trade. SMR ripping says Robert. And VS now coming back down to VWAP again. Let's take a look at SMR. Yeah, we are now at the July 15th high and trying to push over it. I think this is, we're looking at new all-time highs here with SMR. And it's going to be a blue sky breakout.
SMR, you said?
Mm-hmm. Now, just be careful. The RSI is extended on this one, so you gotta, I think it's really worth it to maybe raise your stop, prepare yourself on the way up. RSI is very extended. We could see a pull in this one. ATNF may have support at 825 or so. Let's see here. I love days like this where there's just always something going on.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. ATNF. Yeah. So we did get some bottoming. We're starting to turn around, looking for a touch of that VWAP, currently at 1309 now.
If I took this trade, I would have gotten stopped out. Not going to lie, because I was going to try to get in closer to 10 with a stop loss below the crack of 850s. It went all the way to 832s, so I would have been stopped out. But we'll see if it established itself over $10 now or not.
SMR is going to blow the top, says Line Atlas. I mean, it's in the process of doing that right now. It looks like 18's next. But, yeah, I mean, I gotta say it again, though. That RSI is extended. I still feel like raising the stops is the bare minimum thing you want to do here.
Yeah.
QNRX says WIS. Did that end up doing something? Yeah, sure did. Oh, but this is under $1. This isn't something that I really have fun with this one trading. This is, this is not something I really get into with these penny names, but looks like if there's going to be more upside, it's going to be a break over that 87 high that we got in pre-market. LAC keeps going up. Is lithium hot again? That must mean, let me take a look here.
You got a couple other tickers?
Well, I was thinking that PLL might have get some good movement, but it's not. It's actually the opposite. Guess they need a deal too, don't they?
Yeah. Everybody just a little bit of money. A little bit of money.
Just give it a deal.
Oh, there's Coinbase. All right.
IWM ripping. Hell yes. Got that symmetrical triangle breakout. Oh my God. Look at that thing go.
Oof.
Love it.
Nice. Is this so yeah, I had the previous level drawn at about 226.67s.
I just leveled it off right at 225. It seems like we did trade higher than that back in July, but we never got a close above 225. So I just put that level out there because I'm looking at closes.
Is that possibly an insight play? Yeah,
I agree.
Possibly.
I agree. Replay. What a day. And then Line Atlas saying, take a look at NXE. Very promising. Let's see here with NXE. Next Gen Energy. Okay, we got a gap up today to the July highs. Interesting. And what's nice about it is that this is going to be the third day, maybe even the fourth day above the 200-day SMA. Only issue is that the RSI is extended. So I'll tell you what. Let's see what happens with this over the next couple of days. I would expect that we cool off, come back into the and test that 200-day SMA.
Yeah.
But I'd want to see it hold. I just think this you're right, Line Atlas. I think this looks promising, but let's let this cool off first because the RSI is extended. Wolf ate a wall of sellers. I mean, they're howling at the moon right now, letting the whole pack know it's dinner time.
Where is...
Gosh, 16. That's crazy. Let me see if I can find some more levels for you on this one.
I will be right back. I'm in the back, though. I got to quickly answer this Slack. So if you have any charts you want to put up, the ticker, and I got you.
Wolf's fine. All right, so with this one, I mean, we are getting some EMA crossings here on the daily pretty soon, so there might be some more movement up into the 20s at some point. But let's see here. 1775 seems like a pretty interesting level. Not sure if we'll see that today, but if we are going to continue to push up like this, that would be the level I'd be watching for, 1775. Duo giddy up? I don't know. Is it turning around? I thought it was selling off the last time we were looking at it. Let's see what's happening here with Duo. So we've come in, finding some support around the 133 level. We can turn around, if we can hold this, like hold 133 and turn around here, that would be a good sign that we could at least try to come back up and test those highs that we just made recently up near 157. Jeff Bezos just went all in on drug. I think it's going to $1,000. I don't want to say that that's impossible because this thing has been crazy already, and I think that the crazy could continue. I hope that works out for you. That seems like a big ask, but not impossible. Let's see, where's drug anyway? And I don't want to eat my words if it does go to 1,000, but it's like a tall order. I think we can both agree with that. Why is Palantir selling off? Well, did it hit 45? Let's see. Did we hit 45 in Palantir? Well, it got pretty close last week. Or no, this weekend, last week. Let me take a look at the daily chart, see what I can get from this. Okay, so I would say more than anything, this thing is extended, like super extended. We had an RSI of almost over 78 when this week started. So this is pulling off. Maybe this comes back and breaks over 45 later on. Still getting support from the 20-day SMA. So we want to see that hold, but the RSI, I think that's the big reason. This thing was just super extended. Kind of topped out at a little bit over 44, both on Friday and on Monday. And now we're coming back in. Let's see if we can get some support at 40. What do you say? Let's look at that. 52-week high on Duo is, well, I wonder if that's because they did some reverse splitting on Duo. I'm sure it is. Let's satisfy that curiosity and take a look. DUO. And let's take a look at our splits. What do you know? A 1 for 15 on August 4th.
Okay. Real quick, we mentioned VS. Opportunity next one was near VWAP. You got that opportunity.
Oh, geez.
540. 540, you got your opportunity.
VS curled above SMR ripping. Yeah, we got it, Webcoin. We've been notified. It is ripping. You are correct. Everything, the whole market's gone nuclear. What else? MU boom. Micron coming back. Excuse me. Okay, this is cool. We are recapturing 200-day SMA.
Look at the way it held 100.
Yeah.
So you had a couple of levels. One was about 99. And then you had 100 that held maybe last week. And it's just been a nice little ride since.
Mm-hmm. And probably next month, if we continue to trade above the 200-day SMA, you're going to get a golden cross.
Okay. Which for the folks at home that don't know, what are the two
that is
EMAs?
Well, it's the 50-day SMA,
yeah,
crossing the 200-day SMA to the upside. So with the 50-day crosses up above the 200, that's a golden cross. And the opposite is a death cross.
Die.
And we actually got an interesting, gosh, I'm trying to remember what ticker it was, but we had a death cross in one stock that we were looking at yesterday that occurred on Friday the 13th last month.
Okay.
Death cross on Friday the 13th. Jason Bohor has got tired of the camp kids. He wanted to take the market. Disney is going? Holy cow.
Oh, it is. Bunch of green candles. Let's see where the levels are at.
It's just trying to capture that $95 area. I see resistance at 96.
Yeah, right about there.
Google red to green. That's good news. ATNF turning. Let's take a look at ATNF. I seem to find
you know what I want to do? There's two things I want to do, and it's not the healthiest way to trade. So again, this is just me having fun. If you start off with $1,000, it only takes 10 flips, right? Profitability to be a millionaire. Of course, the ego in me is like, I could predict 10 in a row.
Did you?
I can do that. No, man, I can barely predict 3 in a row.
Great call on ATNF. We are breaking through the VWAP right now. Let's see if we can hold above it. Took out 13. Yep, Market Sniper, you are correct. And the Crow bringing up Ant Baru. I saw that was on the scanners this morning, but it didn't look like it was doing as much as some of these other ones. Let's see what we got here with Baru. Over $1. Good news there. Coming up into a bit of consolidation here from the pre-market. Wondering if we get a bit of a struggle trying to push up through 103, 105 area here. But if we do break that, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it take out 112.
Heads, tails you lose. Yeah, that's kind of how it works, you know. That is kind of how it works.
It
But
only
something else I want to do is like maybe just have like a show or a breakdown where the chat decides where I should put a $500 YOLO in. You know, I don't know.
All right. Well, let me know when your funeral is.
Let me know when you get a fourth job to support this type of behavior. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds fun.
Why not just go to Las Vegas at that point?
Look, I have driven to a whole different state just to sports bet. One of the reasons I'm excited to go to Florida outside of the Robinhood event is that you have Hard Rock Cafe or Hard Rock Casino, excuse me, that's legal in sports betting. Everything else isn't, but that is.
Oh, give it time.
Yeah, you can't gamble on like DraftKings or anything like that, but Hard Rock Casino, you can.
Is Carmen still out there? Holy crap! QBTS. This quantum stock, this quantum name, popped to 106 this morning. Came back in and just did nothing until it opened, and now we're trying to get back up there.
Carmen is out there. She says, "Let me guess, Tennessee." I actually drove to Charlotte to meet a friend. And then the plus side was I could also sports bet. But then I realized Tennessee, aka Chattanooga, is about 2.5 hours away versus me driving 3.5, 4 hours. So my next stop next weekend or so will be Tennessee, Chattanooga.
Yeah, QBTS looking great. Pick some of this up under $1, so looking good here. What else do we have going on? Lots of good stuff today. Great job, everybody that's making these trades happen. It sounds like a lot of you are killing it. STEC, that's halted after finding support from the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. Let's see if we get a turnaround here on that one. Versus also recaptured VWAP. This one was trying to come back up. Volume's not what it used to be when it pushes up to 959, so just be careful. ATNF, not successful in recapturing VWAP. Looks like we're going to come back down and test 8 again.
All right, let's see what's happening with VS here. Sam McGee was from Tennessee. I don't know who Sam McGee is.
Jay Summers trading AIFF. And line analyst saying, take a look at TLT. Looks like it wants to run high. I mean, hasn't that what this thing's been? I guess it did come in a little bit. I mean, I think that maybe it tries to fill that gap up to 96.70, but yeah, I don't know how much more after that.
Some people are saying drugs curling. Okay, so drug did reclaim. So we got the 1-to-1 trade, not the 2-to-1, but you have drug now reclaiming. So if you were to get into this one, maybe you can start nibbling like 25% of your size here. And then I would kind of add if it did go ahead and break VWAP. But to be honest, I probably wouldn't touch this one.
Fairchild covering his drug short. Well done on that. Looks like you had a good morning. I'd say for drug, I mean, we are trying to get back above VWAP right now and having some success, but I think the big level we need to get back over is going to be 26.55.
All right, give me 1 second. I've got to talk to this Delta rep. By the way, I think it's really cool you can talk to Delta via text messages. I think that's kind of cool, but I got to yell at someone. I'll be right back.
There you go. Go long.
You want to put up a chart up?
We can just leave drug and see what that does. I'll just talk about other stuff in the meantime because don't have any positions I'm looking to jump into right at the moment. Lots of stuff, just lots of small stuff doing really good right now. Okay, so Smoke Tuna saying VS wants VWAP. The Crow is saying Baru, here we go. ANET is another gap filler and great long. I'll take a look at that in just a tick here. And then Chicago Realtor saying Nike trying to recapture 83. Seems like Nike's been bouncing around between 85 and 83 for some time. It'll choose a direction, and that's going to be the direction it goes for some time, in my opinion. So let me take a look at ANET here. See what we got going on here. Oh, this is a little pricey. So this is moving up off of the 20-day SMA after it had a bit of a red day yesterday. Actually, pretty sizable volume there yesterday. But getting support from the 20-day SMA. And what were we looking here? Along the gap filler. Where is the gap that you're referring to in this one? Because this thing looks like it just went straight up. Straight up. If anything, this is an inside candle that we're seeing today, because yesterday was a big red candle. Now we're on the inside of that. So I'm just looking at a daily chart. Unless there's a smaller time frame that you're saying that there's a gap. Don't really see that either. Tell me, give me the range, if you could, for the gap that you're looking at there. Nike trend. Oh, I already said that. Drug will come down strong. Most people taking profits. Yeah, it seems like that could be the case. It's really trying to hang on to that VWAP, but it keeps getting slapped down. We're putting in some upper shadows. Not looking the greatest. The volume isn't either. Just be careful, folks. Be careful with drug. What's wrong, Lupe? Let me know what's bringing you down. All right, what else? Looks like James Hoflinger mentioned DETX. See what happens there with that one. DETX. The penny stock. It looks like they're having an okay morning. You want some levels. I guess 46. Say 46 would be the next one, followed by. Well, you're going to get consolidation between 49 and 56. So if you get through that, then I think you have a much better shot at getting up to 75. Drug went over 1,400% yesterday. It sure did. And then it had an even better day in the after hours. It was crazy. Is VS done or not done? Asking Smoke Tuna, says Market Sniper. Take a look at VS. I want to look and see too. Kind of going sideways, hanging above VWAP. But he asked Smoke Tuna, so Smoke Tuna, what do you say? Got some juice left? Wait for a VWAP touch. It's at VWAP. I mean, it's at my VWAP. I don't know, man. Looks like it's going to come back down to 530. Oh. There it goes. It's pushing up. But I still think it's looking weak. But I guess as long as it holds VWAP, there's still that there's still that potential for it to go up. Drug holding its pre-market low. All right, there it goes, VS. Well done. Drug. Where'd that go? This one also right around its VWAP. But this one is on the underside, not like VS, which is on the above it. There seems to be a wall at 630 for VS. Let's see if it can chew through that. If not, we probably go back down to VWAP. Lunar, new high of 848. QBTS to the moon. Is it doing well? It's up to 105. What's the dollar amount for the moon for you? But yes, it is doing pretty good this morning. CETX, oh yeah. Is it pushing? It's looking like it is doing that push. There we go. Got through that. What is that? No, we're just about up to that 47 cent level. And then we have the consolidation from 49 to 56. That's what we're heading up to. Hopefully you're making some good money on that, Wes. Smoke Tuna mentioning AIFF. That was mentioned earlier too. What's AIFF doing? Okay, so this one had a good had a good pre-market, and then it just dropped out of the open. Will we coming back now? Is that what we're looking for? Maybe another test of 450. What do you think? $10 for a moon on QBS, so we're $9 away. All right. Looks like a lot of RCAT reloading from 317 to 321. So we got RCAT. Is it droning on? Looks like there's been a bit of a bottoming here at yeah, right where you were saying, around 315, 316. Maybe. I need to see a little bit more than this. Volume isn't looking great. I need to see something more out of this for me to say, oh yeah, this is turning around.
Let's
see a little bit more. ASTS is Chicago Realtor. Oh yeah, that's having a great day. Let me take a look at the daily chart on that one, because that one we had a big sell-off after they got that contract. Yep. So we got up to 39 and change, came back down, and it looks like we may have found some bottoming here. Next thing we need to do with ASTS is recapture that 50-day SMA. We are taking the 20 today. So getting above that 50-day SMA, that's the next step for me in ASTS.
You've got drug, by the way. I know we talked about it possibly curling up. It did go ahead and try to poke above VWAP. Currently is. We'll see if the 5-minute closes above VWAP or not. But drug looking to make a run up to the upside.
I always seem to lose that one on my list here. I guess it just gets pushed farther and farther down as new tickers come up.
Yep.
There we go. All right, so cool. Trying to recapture that 200 EMA on the 5-minute. MACD looks like it's curling. 912. I'm sorry, 2912. Next spot for me. Let's see it recapture that. Yeah, that would be the next spot there I'd look for in terms of resistance. Yes, well, the drug is trying to get above 27. It's not quite there right now, but it's almost there. And there it is. Just had to let me talk a little bit.
Well, let's see if VS is kind of... All right, so VS is right back down to VWAP. So now it's bounced from this a couple of times. So again, we talk about it often where the more you're knocking on it, you're eating up the orders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if it sustains itself and continues basing or not. But for me, if I'm trying to go long here, I'd rather get the breakout of 650 again than try to get in here and have a stop loss below 5, right? It just depends on what type of trader you are, what your risk parameters are itself. But
well, I think that would also give you a bit of confirmation too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, especially, let's see, yeah, what is it, 1040?
For VS, that would be the 650 level I was referring to. That
Sorry, I meant the time frame. My bad. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the 5-minute. I typically use 5-minute.
Yeah.
All right. Notice how when they buy the Qs, I do themselves up. Yeah, it's rotation. And, you know, the Qs, not the Qs, IWM was having a pretty bad time for a while. So it's nice to see it getting attention again. Baru blew through. Say that 5 times fast. I think you were trying to get me to slip up there, weren't you, Shaka? Wow, it did go through that. Let's see, we were talking about 128? Sure did. 128 going higher in the 130s. Let's see what we can get out of the daily chart for additional levels. Gosh, I guess 150 would be next, because that would be the top of this consolidation from earlier this year. That would be my. That's what I would think. When we need to get to 150, I don't know if it's going to be resistance or if it's going to break out from there, but 150 is a level for sure.
Let's see here. Take a look at something before we wrap things up.
VS going lower. Might get a test of that 530.
By the way, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to have John Caruso, who is a senior market strategist at RJO Futures. You know, we always take a look at the market from different angles, right? So on this show, we talk about technical analysis and what we're seeing in the charts, but let's go a little bit, let's zoom out. Let's see what's happening at the macro side. So we'll get some insights from John in terms of, what's happening in the markets, the economy. We'll talk about inflation a little bit, any concerns that are on his mind, and get some thoughts on commodities and crypto as well. As we mentioned earlier in the show, crypto's been running. And I think it could possibly continue running into the election, and especially if Trump does win, then I think that could be a catalyst for crypto as well. Those are my insights. We'll see if John has his thoughts on it in just a few moments here as well. But before he joins, because I think he's got a couple of minutes here, what else are you kind of keeping an eye on, 13, before we head out of here?
Oh, just, I'm going to be watching those 4 big movers that we had this morning. Those are going to be VS, S-Tech, ATNF, and BDRX. Although it looks like BDRX has really come in and is now no longer one of those 100% runners. But going to be watching those. A lot of the ones we've been trading today, still going to keep an eye on those. So we got, Duo, Wolf, QBTS, lots of different names that are having some great moves today. But I think the focus I'll be on is those big 4 names that we talked about.
All right, perfect. Are you swinging anything, by the way? Like I'm talking like maybe a few months out or anything like that?
A number of things. I'll tell you.
What are your favorite ones? Yeah.
Well, we talk a lot about some of these in our happy hour meeting that we have at the end of most days. WETH, that's one of them. That's a bit of a risky one, but also QBTS. We have some Tim Melvin names, PSEC. I also have Lunar, and there's one interesting one, HTCR. This one I think it could potentially run up into earnings. So far, that's what it's doing. But there's I don't know if I have enough time to explain what's going on with that one. But they basically this company basically brings other companies to market, and they are going to report a big gain on their ER at the end of November.
Okay.
And then of course EYPT, that one was starting to look really good down in the low 8s, high 7s. So we've been swinging that. Now we're up into the 1050s. And of course BITO.
All right, man. Any final thoughts? I know you give us your tickers and things like that, but as we wrap up here, anything else on your mind that you want our viewers to know about before you get back to us tomorrow?
I just want everybody to make sure they don't get too greedy and that they are just happy with the gains they got. We had some really great trading this morning. Don't get greedy. Don't force trades. Let's have another good day tomorrow, and I'll see you then.
All right. Appreciate it, my man. I'm going to go ahead and get you in the back. Let me go ahead and take care of a couple of other things here. All right, chat. We mentioned how, look, we want to go ahead and get you guys not just a technical analysis side of things, but we also want to make sure that we get, a little bit of market insights from experts that have been doing this much longer and get the macro side of things as well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on my guest, who is going to be John Caruso. John, how's it going, man? Welcome to the show.
Good. Great to be here with you, Zaid.
Absolutely. And I mentioned this earlier, but I'll recap it for the folks. You are a senior market strategist at RJO Futures. You've been doing this for quite some time, but give us a little bit of insight on your background. What is it that you do so we know where your thoughts are coming from?
Sure. RJO Futures, we are the retail arm of RJ O'Brien, a more than 100-year-old commodity firm based right here in Chicago. RJ O'Brien, we're one of the original members of the Chicago Board of Trade. Did I mention we've been around for more than 100 years? Yeah, my primary responsibility and role here, aside from macro analysis and cycle analysis, is to educate clients on futures trading, alternative assets such as commodities, and how they play a very important role in your portfolio. Along with that, we also do help clients make sound, informed decisions in their trading portfolios here at RJ O'Brien. So happy to be here with you.
Awesome. And I know you mentioned the insights that you provide. So if folks are interested in what John talks about, you can sign up for a 2-week complimentary subscription to the Trading Coach Insights. The link is in the chat, but let me go ahead and continue the conversation. Let's zoom out and then maybe I can kind of pick my spots a little bit, but give me your vague question, but give me your thoughts on the state of our economy at the moment.
Yeah, currently the economy going into the fourth quarter here, everything seems to be generally okay. I mean, we're still looking for north of 2% GDP growth. We've got inflation tracking around 2.5%, perhaps 2.6%. Unemployment still sitting in the low 4% right now. So generally in the fourth quarter, aside from geopolitical risks, of course, we've got something big coming up in early November as well. We're going to have to be prepared for some volatility going forward. But generally speaking, as far as the health of the economy, we think things generally are okay right now. If there's one thing that we've got to keep an eye out for going forward is inflation. We actually happen to believe that inflation is going to be trending higher and ticking higher over the course of the next 3 to 4 quarters. If you kind of take a look around the world as to what's going on as far as central bank policy, everything with just about every global central bank, with the exception of 2, Australia and Japan, they are easing interest rates right now. We know the United States is embarking on roughly 100 to 200 basis point rate cut cycle over the next 12 months. And of course, we just heard from China that just launched a roughly 7.5 trillion yuan stimulus package over there to try to help rescue their flagging economy over there. And we still expect them to do more. And coming down the pipe tomorrow, we're going to hear from the ECB. The ECB, they're expected to cut interest rates 25 basis points tomorrow. We did see just recently the UK CPI numbers that came in cooler than expected, which we think is also going to tee up another 25 basis points at the next BOE meeting. So generally speaking, going forward, inflation is likely to be the theme.
You know, you mentioned the China stimulus, and it had a nice little run up, but then it was kind of like a sell the news event itself when it came back down. Are you expecting more volatility there, or do you feel like folks are, do you like the China theme? Are you able to kind of comment on that?
You know what? How we're going to play China is largely going to be through the commodity space. Yeah. Obviously, China is one of the world's largest consumer of commodities, energy, strategic metals, precious metals. So that's largely how we're going to look at positioning ourselves as far as the China trade is concerned. As far as direct investment in China, we offer futures products, but typically we're gonna play the commodity market more so than China directly.
And, something else I mentioned before you came on and at the start of the show as well, and I'll come back to inflation here in a moment as well, but since we're talking about the kind of trend and different things like that, is Bitcoin. You've seen Bitcoin rally for quite some time now, especially as of late. You've seen, it depends on the betting markets and different things like that, where you see Trump taking a little bit of a bigger lead. Maybe that's what's kind of helping Bitcoin rise. And as we go into the election, no matter the result, I'm curious what your thoughts are on Bitcoin. If you have one, in terms of its trend, what are your thoughts there?
Sure. Bitcoin, we largely model that as a commodity asset. And just with our central theme of being bullish on commodities moving forward, I think Bitcoin is going to play an important role in personal portfolios going forward. When I look at the chart of Bitcoin right now, we've been consolidating on a monthly chart. Now we just broke above a key level, 65,000. I believe we're at 68,000 here today.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to take long for us to be back at 74 and then open up a higher trading range, perhaps into 90 to 100,000 going forward. I just recently heard someone say it. I want to give credit where credit is due, but I can't recall where I heard it. But, we're all just frogs slowly boiling in a pot of monetary debasement. And when you take a look at things like Bitcoin, you look at gold that seems to be hitting new all-time highs on a weekly basis now. That's not generally a positive as far as the fiscal backdrop of not only here in the United States, but around the world.
Yeah.
And you take a look here at home, we're running 6.5% budget deficits as it relates to GDP. Those are wartime and or recession time budget deficits that we're running right now, and we're in neither. I think I just saw that the budget deficit, it just hit 1.8 trillion. Then you start getting into, interest expense on the debt at 1.3 trillion. That just, I think over the last 12 months surpassed defense spending. Over the course of the next 6 months of the first quarter, I believe interest expense on the debt is expected to surpass Social Security spending. So you can see where this is going. And when you look at gold, you look at Bitcoin, these markets, breaking into new all-time highs, it's not generally a positive, But if we kind of take a step back and examine the market from a more micro standpoint, you see stocks hitting all-time highs. For the time being, things generally, the backdrop of the economy is generally okay.
What's interesting to me is that people talk about, like, in terms of crypto, like, oh, hey, it's going to substitute gold, or it's going to be the new golds or whatever. But when you have all of them possibly hitting all-time highs together, it's like, okay, what exactly is Bitcoin? What exactly is the role that it'll play in our society? I was watching, I think it was a clip, Anthony Pompeo mentioned something along the lines of how housing has gotten more expensive. Yes, but if you kind of look at if you're invested in crypto, then housing has gotten cheaper just because of the asset of Bitcoin rising so much to where the affordability aspect of housing just became 99% more affordable than versus if you had just held on to, let's say, the dollar or whatever the case may have been. So again, it's all about, perception, open to interpretation, how you want to take a look at it. But what do we watch for going forward? I know you mentioned a couple of things in terms of stimulus in China. We kind of touched on the election as well.
Sure.
What are some other things that folks should kind of keep an eye on? Or if you want to dive in a little bit deeper into the other topics we've already touched on.
Yeah, one of the places we're going to be directing clients, and we have been now for the past year and a half, is the metals space. We're actually very bullish on metals. I know, obviously with gold hitting all-time highs on a weekly basis, it's boring. You want to start looking at some of these other markets like silver that we actually think is going to start to play catch up. And the one thing I know about silver for trading it for the past 20 years, when it wants to close the gap of that silver to gold ratio, which is currently around 85 to 1, 85 ounces of silver goes into 1 ounce of gold. When it wants to close that gap, it can close it quickly. And, you could see $6, $7, $8 ranges in the price of silver directly ahead. We're also, the other thing we like about silver, not only just the precious aspect of it is the industrial aspect of silver. Currently, demand is outpacing supply. I believe we're forecasting roughly a 215 million ounce deficit for 2024. This will be the third consecutive year that silver supply is going to be in a deficit. We also did just recently hear from a new battery technology from Samsung, the solid state battery. I was actually just reading about it this morning in the Harvard engineering website. That goes into production in 2027. It's a new technology that they say is going to revolutionize the battery industry.
Yeah.
And silver is going to be a massive component inside of that battery. So silver is one that we like. Copper, as it relates to China, platinum, all of these metals going forward are going to be very important in terms of the electrification of the world. We know that we're making a big push into green energy, electrification, expansion of the power grid, updating the power grid. All of these metals are going to play a strategic role in doing that. And I think a lot of that plays into the inflation theme going forward that we've seen
like Tesla's event with the robo taxis and the robots and things like that. And oftentimes we mention about how you want to find the thing behind the thing. So it doesn't matter which car manufacturer does the best. Let's invest in the tires, right? The tire shop, the tire manufacturer. So it kind of goes back to your point of batteries and EV electrification is going to be a thing. But cool, how do we make those batteries? What goes into it? And from what you're saying, it seems like silver might be a way to go ahead and play that.
Silver is going to be a big component in this new, this revolutionary technology in the battery. They're not only talking about just batteries for electrical devices. They're talking about batteries in EVs, faster charging. They're safer, less flammable. And it's a real, I'm not going to say it's a replacement for lithium ion, but this is a real thing that, starts to come into focus over the next 2 years during production.
All right. We've talked about a lot of positives in terms of what to look for, trends in terms of commodities, Bitcoins. Let me get some insights on any concerns that you have with everything in mind that we've kind of talked about. What are some things that you're kind of keeping an eye on just in case things don't go well?
Sure. If there's, a swan event, a tidal wave that hits the global economy, and, we often debate soft landing versus hard landing. Now the central theme seems to be no landing. Geopolitical risks, deglobalization is certainly something that concerns me. There's going to be more onshoring, more nearshoring, friendshoring. All of that is going to be very costly, and it leads into the inflation theme. And obviously, too much inflation, like we've seen in 2022, it can be a bad thing, And what bothers me is that the Fed seems to have us on this doom loop of raising interest rates to combat inflation. Now we're on an aggressive rate cut cycle. Does inflation come back? And are we back to raising rates aggressively in 2026?
Yeah.
So that certainly is something that I worry about. the fiscal situation globally and here in the United States, that keeps me up at night, of course, and that kind of goes back to the safe haven asset of gold and perhaps Bitcoin and how that plays a role in it.
Did you ever think that maybe 10 years ago you would have said, and perhaps Bitcoin in terms of like a safe haven? You know what I mean? Like it's always, I'm still wrapping my mind around it, to be honest.
I hear you. I'll tell you what, I just started grasping the concept relative, right around 4 years ago. So I'm new to the whole space, I'm new. So.
And you mentioned you're new and it's been 4 years, but there's still so many individuals out there, my man Warren Buffett, one of them, who still aren't necessarily a believer.
They're not on board.
I'm obviously talking about the Jane and John Does as well that haven't quite exposed themselves in terms of it as an investment to crypto as they may have in terms of gold or physical gold or whatever the case may be. But it's just interesting how with the new generation, with new technologies, there's different innovations that come up with different types of investments as well. Before we go ahead and let you go, man, any final thoughts? Anything we didn't cover that you wanted to go over?
No, I think we covered a lot of bases there. It was great to be with you. I would just, have our audience consider going to the website, checking out our Trading Coach Insights, signing up for a free 2 weeks.
Is that daily that you send it out? Is it weekly?
Daily, yeah, that's a daily market insight note that I send out. It's more so like a personal trading journal. So it's observations and things that we're looking at and updating our fundamental and technical models. And it's just a good way for our traders to start their day, just taking a peek kind of behind the curtains, a look into some of the things that I'm thinking about for that upcoming day.
Yeah.
And it is free of charge. It goes out every morning by 7:30 a.m. Chicago time.
All right. Appreciate your insights, man. Thank you so much. Look forward to having you more on the show.
Great. Take care, Zane. Have a good one.
You got it. Take care. That is my man, John Caruso, who is a senior market strategist at RJO Futures. And, the one thing that I love about getting the daily insights is because things are always happening in the markets every single day, whether it's geopolitical risk, whether it's unfortunate events happening, or whether it's just market movement in terms of technical analysis or whatever the case may be. It's always good to say insights of here's what's happening in the markets, but how is an expert kind of interpreting that? And you get a chance to get that newsletter. So go ahead and check that out. It's absolutely free. You can get 2 weeks complimentary subscription to John's Insights with the Trading Coach Insights. And of course, if you have any questions, you're welcome to email me as well. We can pass them along to the team. Ben, give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready to rock, man. All right, let me go ahead and switch things up here. What's going on, brother? Good morning to you. How you feeling?
I am feeling great. We missed you last week.
Yeah, you got 20/20 vision. You know what's happening in the future. What's happening?
I got like a new eyeball, and I can see everything great. Beautiful.
Love it, man. Tell me what's coming up here. I know you got your boys in the back. We've got Rhett and Godfather. I'll put them up here in a second.
Yeah, we've been absolutely killing it. Uranium sector exploding. It's been one of my top picks for like the last 18 months. One of my larger positions, ETFs in uranium, URNM, URA, and it's just been, the news. I don't know if you've covered it, but Google, Microsoft, Amazon, one after another. Oklo again was their top pick of the day today. It's just been great. I can't wait to talk about it.
All right, man. Well, the show is all yours. What's up, Brad? What's up, Godfather? I will be in the back. You guys need anything? Just let me know.
All right, man, a lot to talk about. Good to see you again, guys. We missed that Benzinga last week, so I love this show. It's a lot of fun answering with both of you. Rhett, make sure to get any comments. If anyone has any questions or anything, Rhett will be monitoring the comments and telling us about it. But, man, our community has been killing it. You know what we do at Story Trading? We get our stock ideas. We start with the catalyst. We take that catalyst. We say, what's the impact of the catalyst on sentiment first? Then what's the impact of the catalyst on fundamentals? Then we look at the technicals and we come up with a trade idea. The Godfather is our fundamental guy. He's more fundamentally focused, but he also looks at these other pillars. It takes a special kind of person to look at things holistically. There's a lot of people out there who are pure technical traders, a lot of people who are pure fundamental investors. And in my opinion, they miss out. And also they get frustrated and confused because if you only look at the market one-dimensionally, the market makes no sense at all. It's just always chaotic if you only look at it one-dimensionally. The truth is, the fair market pricing you see on the market is a combination of all of these factors: catalyst, sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals. So that's our approach to the market. Every day I come on at 9 a.m. do a pre-market show for our Discord community, and we pick like 5 stocks to focus on and try to focus in on one number one top pick. And Oklo was our top pick this morning. And I just have to do this, guys. Let's see if this audio will work. Let me know. Hopefully you guys have to hear this, because I was driving to work. I'm going to work at 9 a.m. I was a little bit late for the show, and it was a really urgent message I wanted to get across at 9 a.m. Because usually when there's a catalyst and something's moving in pre-market, if it's already gapped up too much, we're like, don't chase it. Just get a small position, wait for a dip. But I was driving and I had to get this message across. Listen to this, guys. I'm so proud of this prediction I made.
You have to chase Oklo a little bit here. Even maybe SMR, but Oklo I like better because Sam Altman. So Godfather's going to disagree with me, but that's fine. It's just too much. It's just too many now. It's Amazon, Google, Microsoft. I mean, it's a time for a short squeeze. And also they've been trying to target Oklo for a gamma squeeze with $10 and $12.50 call options this week. So I added more, not a full position. Hopefully we get full pullbacks. But at this point, I think we're at that place in time where sentiment and catalysts and just market dynamics and momentum and short squeezes will overcome any fundamental concerns. So I think it's possibly a 20, 30, 40% day for Oklo today.
There you go. 20, 30, 40% day. That was a prediction we gave you this morning when the stock was about $12. And I started recording it when it was $12.65. By the time it was finished, it was $12.90. So $12.90, 20 to 40% day, up 30%. I just love that, guys. Godfather, any comments?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted. Try again. You are muted. Okay. Godfather, you're muted. All right. Other top picks. He left. Okay. So other top picks we had today. So that was Oklo. Also, we had top picks for LAC, ASPN, LRMR, and Tesla. Okay. These were the top 5. Let's go through these real quick. LAC, I made a little bit of money, but I just wasn't aggressive enough. So like I said, what we do is we don't chase on these big gaps, except the exception I made in Oklo this morning. So over here, I was in a small position. I'm like, let's wait for a dip. So I played this right and was able to actually get out $3, got out with a small profit. Could have made much more. So there was big news on LAC today. LAC are one of our top 5 picks after Oklo. All right, Godfather, let's try again. You were muted before. Is he frozen now? Does he not hear
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now. All set.
Hello?
Okay, great. Yeah, sorry about that. Technical difficulties here. Yeah, look, I was just going to say, this is the great thing about the market. There's room for everybody to express an opinion. So this is, clearly a sentiment-driven trade, and it's got some legs. I mean, we had the Google announcement, we had the Amazon announcement. You've seen it in practice with what Amazon did with TLN. So it's real, but the timeframes here are long. The capital required to get these things into operation is big. The timelines is probably the most regulated. SMRs are probably the most regulated subsector of any market. So it's going to take time. But look, if you've got the big boys, the big large cap tech treasuries behind you, it's going to change and influence valuations, and market sentiment will do that as well. Personally, I've seen this a million times. This is getting really crowded. Really, your points with respect to options and gamma are all valid. But I've taken December put positions in both Oklo and SMR today, this morning. They're out of the money from here. You give yourself some safety zone in terms of time frame. You give yourself some safety zone in terms of strike price, and you take a time horizon that's beyond a day. That's sort of the way I'm approaching it. But if you're day trading these things, clearly the trend is your friend. And you want to be trading it for the long side. So all the regular caveats that one would come with options trading are relevant here. But there's certainly more than one way to play this and make money. You need to suspend your belief or disbelief with respect to what's fundamental value and not on days like today when the technicals and the option activity flows and sentiment are what are driving things. So
Yeah.
it goes back to your comment about being holistic, and you have to trade the market that you're given. So you can do it both ways, and sometimes I do. I go long, a stock. I'm not currently long any of these, but if I was going to, I'd probably be long some commons for the day. At the same time, buying some longer term put positions. So,
yeah, I'm still long some Oklo, but out about 60-70%. I've been selling on the way up. Again, 20 to 40% was the target I had for the day. But other thing I wanted to mention this morning, also I mentioned the Discord right here at 3107. I increased my uranium position in my retirement account, my long-term account. URA is the ETF. I think URA is going to be hitting what basically I said this morning. I'm looking for a target of over 33.63, new all-time highs on URA. So that's another way to play it. I don't think it's too late if you have a long-term time frame to be in these diversified ETFs, either URA or URNM. Man, we could have made a ton of money because I was in CCJ calls yesterday, and we alerted this to the community. And see what happened. We were in CCJ calls because of the prior announcement with Google, right? And in the morning, CCJ spiked down, and I was now down on the CCJ call. So then I averaged down, and then in the afternoon, I was green on them. And I was like, well, that was beautiful. I bought the dip. I get out with like a 10-20% gain same day. After a little bit of a scare, and then I was all out, and look what had happened. I would have been up several 100%. Maybe someone in our community kept them overnight. I don't know. But in any case, my point is we've been all over the uranium trade, whether it's the ETFs for the long term, whether it was a CCJ idea yesterday or Oklo today. So making plenty of good predictions and opportunities for our people in our community to make money. So that's the story. With Oklo,
recognize
LEC,
when everything is green in the sector.
What's that?
I just wanted to say recognize when everything is green, and there are massive green candles throughout all of these names.
The whole sector.
That these are the days that you need to take some profits. Absolutely have to.
Well, it depends on your time frames, I would say. Right, I'm taking profits on Oklo as it goes up, but Eura, personally, I'm not taking. There's like a 10-year hold for me, so it depends on your time frame. I think it's probably not even too late to add now if you don't have uranium exposure for the long term. Wow, look
if you have a long term position, you're trading around those positions. Today is the day to be selling, not a day to be adding.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So that's uranium. Great.
All right,
that was our top pick. Go ahead. Hello.
To start mass printing for defense and military equipment for the Israel war. You want to touch base on that?
Wait. You broke up. Can you say that again?
NNDM.
I'm not. Oh, mass printing for NNDM to start mass printing for defense and military for the Israeli war. I don't know NNDM at all. Godfather, do you know about that stock?
No, I've never even heard of the ticker before. Sorry, I'll have a look.
Nano Dimension. Oh, I've heard of Nano Dimension before, but yeah, we'll have to research it. I can't give a quick answer. I see there's a lot of questions on TSS. Let me run through a few of these other topics quickly so we can get to some of these questions. All right, so ASPN, big deal today. I didn't give up on it. This is one of the things. I personally manage risk with allocation size. A lot of people who are pure technical traders, they're only looking at the price action, and if they do stop losses. I basically never do stop losses because my entry had nothing to do with price anyway. My entry had to do with a catalyst or prediction on sentiment, fundamentals, etc. So I'm not going to use price as a reason to get out. So I manage my risk with position size. Otherwise, maybe I would have been shaken out of ASPN here, and it's starting to work out. We'll see if it works out for today. It's a top 5 pick. They got a Department of Energy loan. I think it was Department of Energy loan. Collaborate with Jonah Lupton and Logical Thesis. And both of them were very bullish on this news. So top 5 pick today. I was actually predicting potential for much higher numbers. We'll see. Maybe it'll play out, maybe not. 30 to 33 possibilities. Other one, LRMR. I just noticed this morning that there was a catalyst out, Oppenheimer with a $26 price target. Then I was looking through the news flow, and I saw 2 weeks ago it was Wedbush, $22 price target. And those are big price targets from 2 reputable firms in a sector that's super hot right now, which is biotechs. Actually, let's take a quick look at XBI. There we go. All right, so I think XBI is actually lagging what's happening underneath. A lot of biotech stocks are exploding right now. I think XBI is lagging it, and the strength we're seeing underneath is going to send XBI to above 103.50. Got a small call position on that. But because of the strength in biotech and these catalysts, we did make LRMR a top 5 pick of the day with an 830 initial target. So I did sell half at 830, got back in maybe prematurely at 798. Okay. We alerted that this was a support level here at 765, and we're back up here at 791. That was a top 5 pick for the day. And then lastly, Tesla, threw that in there. I'm not going to have time to go through the catalysts, but a bunch of catalysts I talked about this morning. I thought maybe we can make it to 226 today. Maybe we still can. Crazy stock. I'm not really trading this much, but I did add to my long-term position on Tesla. All right, a couple other quick mentions, and then we'll get to Godfather if you want to mention something. And I see a lot of questions, so I want to make time for those. Summit Therapeutics. Yesterday, I gave this to you guys. I went to $22 calls expiring next week for $1 with a target of $23.50 today. High today, $23.48. Actually, like, I can't do it now because I'm live on the show. But I would sell some here if I could. Let me see. Hold on. Where are we at? So SMMT call options. We've had a swing on this. This is that cancer drug that competing with Keytruda. So yes, I'm up 110% on those call options right now. In fact, you know what? I got to take care of myself sometimes, even though I'm on the show. I'm selling now 25% of those call options right now. If you're in the Discord, if you're listening, if you followed me on that, taking over 100% gain on SMMT call options. Beautiful, hitting right over target. Also want to mention, Godfather gave us an alert on ASTS just about 30 minutes ago. On this is a big position for me in my long term. It's also a swing position. When you gave the alert, Godfather, I saw breaking above the 20 DMA, RSI very low. This thing looks poised to explode. I gave everyone a target of 2707, almost there. And I also got into call options when he gave that alert. I got into $26 calls for next week at $1.65, and those are $2.10 now, up 25% on those already. So great alert you gave us on ASTS. Wow. But just one last thing I want to mention, then I'll turn it over to you, Godfather. Wolf, we played yesterday pretty nicely, or was it 2 days ago? Yeah, it was yesterday. Even though pre-market was a great chart, but we exited at 16. We missed it today. Okay, I just want to mention Game. I do want to mention Game is a sponsor of the story trading community. However, there's a lot going on, and we're going to have more coming out on this, more research coming out on this soon in the next couple of weeks. And I just noting this 20 DMA touch here, plus what we're seeing with IWM. All right, just take it with a grain of salt. Full disclosure, they're a sponsor, but potential for this to break the 20 DMA and move to about 90 cents. Okay, potential target on Game. All right, now Godfather, take it away. Give you a few minutes, and then we'll get to Q&A.
Yeah. So another small biotech that I think is top gold because, as you said, biotech, especially some of these smaller names where they receive outsized price targets from reputable sell-side shops can move dramatically in this market. We certainly have seen the animal spirits alive and well as a result of the multiple 1,000% move in DRUG yesterday. That was sort of trading as a sentiment off of Longboard. But a name that was mentioned in the Wolf spaces, and I did some deep dive on it, is ATYR, and this is a company with 80 million shares outstanding. It's trading at 270, so it's got a pretty tiny market cap. They are fully funded for at least the next year. But what's interesting about this is on October 4th, when the stock was trading at 175, Wells Fargo came out with a $17 price target on this. They're doing a phase 3 trial right now. The results don't come out until Q3 2025, but there are catalysts between now and then. The stock had a huge move yesterday, so it's gotten on to some screeners. It's gotten on to X Chatter. starting to build on this. And here's the thing that really caught my attention. And, I'm not a biotech guy. So the first thing I do is I look and see if Smart Biotech Money owns this name. And on the top of the list are names like Logos, Federated Hermes, and I think it was, on the 14th. So 2 days ago, 5 million share block traded at 225. Well, yesterday after close, we got disclosure that Steve Cohen at 0.72 was the purchaser of that. So he now owns in excess of 6% of the company. So I just pointed out small cap biotech, unique method of action. It sounds like some of the other catalysts that could come through here are expanded access program, et cetera, et cetera. So you've got a lot of boxes ticked for a small cap name like this. I just put it on the radar screen. It's pure spec, but with what we're seeing in XBI and LABU and the fervor in some of these small cap biotech names, I think it's topical. And one.
All right, so ATYR, take a look at that. Do some research on that. Sorry, did he say one more thing? Or
I just wanted to mention Nvidia and TSM earnings tonight. And ASML. So yesterday morning, we saw the ASML numbers come out early. They were released early. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but and SMH sold off, and all of the component names sold off dramatically, including Nvidia was down over 5%. Now, if you read Gene Munster and others that have really ticked through the ASML numbers, you'll see that some 10%, maybe 15% of ASML's business is AI related. So the names where the real tailwind is AI, like Nvidia, should not be selling off as much. And I think more important to the future direction of AI related semis is the numbers this afternoon after close. And I would not be surprised if this is the catalyst that sees Nvidia finally break through 140 and hit new highs. So I was short Soxel in the morning just as a hedge for my overall portfolio. When the ASML news came out, that was lucky, but I covered and immediately went long NVDL, and I'm maintaining that long position going into the TSM numbers tonight. So I like that in terms of big cap tech at the moment.
Awesome. Good idea you got there. All right, Rhett, I see a lot of questions. Which one do you want to hit us with first?
Just good top to bottom. All right, so let's go over PRQR.
PRQR. Don't know anything about it. What's the comment say?
It just has eye emojis.
Oh, no. Okay, let's go to something else. I saw some stuff of...
all right, so then news on
with me either. I don't know.
TSSI.
Let's give it TSSI update. Was there something you want to say about PRQR, Godfather?
No, just saying it's not a name with me at all. I don't know it, so I can't provide any fundamental insight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and by the way, we don't trade stocks that are just moving on technicals, especially like these low floaters. Like sometimes we'll play them, but they're not like official picks. It doesn't meet our process at Story Trading. All right, TSSI. Yes. Okay, let's go to TSSI. TSSI is still my largest position in my long-term account. Now it hit our target of 725, and I took some off there. I took some off a little bit earlier too, but took a bigger chunk off at 725. And I've been waiting for a re-entry. My trigger for a re-entry, we got very close. Was this 50, either the 50 DMA, right, which yesterday was very close, like 508. Now it's moved up to 515. So maybe I missed it. Maybe it was yesterday. That was my trigger for a re-entry or a catalyst. A catalyst that I think I definitely would increase on again is the press release that will come out stating when the next earnings release is. I'll be back in for that because I think we'll see the stock going up in anticipation of the next earnings report. So that's TSSI. I see this comment from Jay Rice on Oklo. It's 4 years away from a product move. Is all technical. Look, I would love to have multiple philosophical debates on this, but it's not all technical. Look, it's sentiment. If you want to say it's all sentiment, okay, we can consider that. But just because something's 4 years away from a product, just because someone's not making money yet or they don't have revenue yet, doesn't mean the company is worthless. That's not how the real world works. Assets do have sentimental value as part of their market value, whether it be artwork or whether it be a stock. So, it's kind of incorrect, to say this is BS or it's only technical or it's only, things at times deserve a sentimental premium. And I made this point too. I think we have Google, Amazon, Microsoft all going into SMRs, right? What do you think that does to the possibility of a company raising capital that might need capital? It's going to increase their possibilities of raising money. They can access capital at cheaper prices. They can maybe now get capital without warrants. They can maybe do an ATM, right? They can maybe sell into, maybe Oklo next month is going to be selling stock in the open market at $20, $25 because of the short squeeze or whatever. That was triggered by sentiment and expectation. And then all of a sudden, right, now everyone's formula changes, right? Because now they have much less dilution than you thought because there was sentimental value, which enabled them to get access to cheap capital. So yeah, it's not all technical. Sentiment matters. Sentiment and catalysts improve sentiment, which changes market value. And there's a reality to that market value. And sentimental market value is real. You can sell assets. You can sell companies on Look, I remember in 1998, the dot-com boom, when everything was truly, sentimental value, right? Like there was a GeoCities. I mean, there were these like AOL, I think, bought GeoCities or something. So there were big companies buying these smaller internet companies which had no revenue, and they were being bought purely on sentimental value. So you can even get an exit on sentimental value, right? At the end of the day, people are making decisions based on how they feel about a stock, and the fundamentals actually plays into sentiment too. Hey, I like this company. I have a good feeling about the future of this company because they have great cash flows now, and I expect those cash flows to continue. That's also, if you think about it, sentiment. So no, I don't think Oklo is purely technical. I think it's a catalyst which triggered the sentiment. And on top of that, you do have some market dynamics with short squeezes and gamma squeezes and things like that happening, but it's not purely technical. Okay, next question.
It's going to be SGMT.
I don't know SGMT. Do you know it, Godfather?
No, never even heard this ticker before. Sorry.
Another biotech. Biotechs are hot. I don't know if there's a catalyst behind it. Present phase 2B data. So there is some news that's driving it.
On the radar screen, if they come on my radar, I need an opportunity to dig down. I need to have a look at the capital structure. A lot of these small cap names have struggled with financing for a long time, and you'll find that there's massive dilutes embedded in the capital structure. All of these things are potential traps. So, without, I'm a fundamental guy. I need to be able to dig through and make sure that there isn't a hidden death spiral financing or something else in behind the scenes. So, but again, I would make the point: if you don't know the science of these things yourself, have a look and follow guys like Farm DCA and others on X that traffic in these names, and go on Yahoo Finance and take a look and see who owns these names. And if the shareholder list is full of biotech specific hedge funds or long only funds, that's a stamp of approval. If they've got joint ventures with large cap pharma, obviously also. But yeah, unless I've had a chance to dig through it, I can't really render opinion.
Okay, yeah, and I'll also kind of, I'm not as strict as you on fundamentals, but I generally don't trade stocks that I don't know who they are, what they are. The more I know about it, the more fundamental research I've done in the past, the bigger I can make my positions, the more conviction I'll have. Otherwise, what happens is I'll get turned upside down on a trade because if price action goes against me, I'm like, oh my, do they have a bad capital structure? Are they going to do an offering? I get scared and I end up buying high, selling low. So in order to have the proper conviction, it helps to know the fundamental situation. All right, next question, Brett.
So it's going to be AIoT.
That's your stock, Godfather. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad somebody asked on this. So, at a time when animal spirits are alive and well, and everyone's focused on these high short interest stocks, and themes like SMRs are blowing up and all the rest of it. Quietly, there are some names that are undergoing material and fully warranted revaluations, and AIoT is one of them. The company did this transformational acquisition of Fleet Complete. They're now the third largest publicly traded IoT company in North America. They did that deal at 5 times post-synergy EV EBITDA. This is a rule of 40 company once they've combined and have ramped up their cross-sell opportunities. And if you look at the peers, again, this is essentially a SaaS company. It's essentially a recurring revenue company. Some 300 of the 400 million in revenue this year is recurring, but yet it's trading just a little over 2 times EV to sales, and a little over 7 times EV EBITDA. And the peers, I mean, Samsara has higher margins, but it's trading at 16.5. Actually, I think that's expanded now to over 17 times EV to sales. So there is a material gap here. The thing about the IoT business is the cost savings are real. The cost savings for fleets in terms of insurance. And it's not just the cost savings. These things are being mandated by several insurance companies. Fuel economy savings, all of these things are easily quantifiable, and it's sticky. It's really sticky. And the beauty of it is, again, the hardware is essentially going to get given away for free. These are tiny sensors, but the capabilities of these sensors have expanded dramatically. So it's all about the long-term revenue stream of monitoring these things. And it makes for a great business model, because not only is it recurring revenue, but think of who is selling these things. The people that are your essentially your distribution network are big telecom companies, because they want to sell the cellular service that goes along with communicating with these IoT devices. So if you've got AT&T and TELUS and names like this that are essentially acting as distributors for your products. So it's a fantastic business model. These guys already have 60% gross margins and in excess of 20% EBITDA margins, but there's a path to see that expand to 30 plus, which is what you typically see in a SaaS company. So I don't see any reason why the stock should still be struggling here under $6. It's a double-digit name in the next 6 months, in my opinion, and is probably a long-term compounder and goes higher from there.
All right, there you go. That's AI. What was it again? AIoT. All right, we're coming up against the end of the show here, so just want to.
November Investor Day as well on the 21st, just so you know. Put it on your calendar.
Okay. So if you want to join our community, if you want to join our community, it's just $2 a day. $2 a day. You can join through storytrading.com/Discord, or you can go to S Mantle on his profile if you want to come mostly for the fundamentals and that great work that he does. He also does lots of execution help throughout the room. Head on over to his profile on X, S Mantle, or you can go to storytrading.com/Discord. Only $2 a day to join our community. We've got a 9 a.m. show every single morning. We give execution advice throughout the day, and continuing to look at these stocks the rest of the day. Looking great. Another awesome day for us.
Awesome. What is up? Appreciate you guys. And yeah, it's always interesting to kind of, you mentioned, I think it was uranium, a 10-year outlook. Props to you for being that patient, because I'm like, bro, 10 minutes, am I making money?
Well, it's different accounts, right? In that account, I can't touch the money till I'm 59.5. So
yeah,
you know what? Makes no difference to me. I added uranium. I added more URA this morning at $31. Look at that. It's $32.25. How beautiful is that?
Love it. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you later. Take care.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. You got it. All right, chat. Well, we appreciate you for joining us today. It's been a fun show. We've talked about technical analysis with myself and 13. Then you had some great insights on the macro side with John. And then, of course, you had story trading with Ben, Godfather, and Red as well. We appreciate you for joining. Tomorrow, it'll be AB and 13 that'll be rocking it. Matter of fact, if you guys want, you can kind of hit me up. So I'm actually going to Miami here in just a couple of hours. Let me put that's my Twitter handle, my X handle, whatever you want to call it. And if you have some content that you want me to shoot from the Robinhood event, if you have some questions, we'll be interviewing some folks from Robinhood and a couple of other companies as well. Shoot me a DM. Let me know, and I'll try to get your questions in, and we'll get rocking and rolling. Appreciate you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.